I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Trustee Cox?
Here.
Trustee Foley?
Yes, ma'am, here.
Trustee Hopkins?
Here.
Trustee Royer?
Here.
Supervisor Allen?
Here. Approval of the prior meeting's minutes.
Any questions?
I'll make just a comment, but Galen's not here. I see that she's, now as far as when it comes to public comment, I've never seen minutes so short. It's just one little line that there was public comment. But I guess if the board's okay with it, then that's the way we'll have to live with it. I just like it when people take time out of their night to come in and speak their piece, that it be recorded, at least, you know, the generic, they spoke about, they were for this or against this.
Spoke about pizza, spoke about...
Right, whatever, but you noticed in the minutes, I mean, there's nothing now. So, I guess, again, just people can go to the video and watch it there. I don't
It's on our website,
Yeah, so.
the full version.
Motion?
Have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second? Second. Have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Foley?
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Trustee Royer?
Yes.
Supervisor Allen?
Yes. Public comments?
I'd like to, just because it's pertinent, if we could, make a motion to move the bylaws concerning the public comments up, and so we can address that before the public comments. I make a motion if we could do that. Be okay with this board?
I'll second it. Have a motion and a second.
It's all the very end.
Under new business. Any questions?
I don't see why, but...
Well, the public's getting ready to comment, and on the agenda it says bylaws concerning public comments. So I figure we address those before the public comments.
whatever.
Okay.
No, I won't second that way,
Oh,
after they comment.
I wanted to move this up on the agenda is what I was motioning. Do you not want to move that up on the agenda?
Not before public comments.
Okay, so you rescind your
I
second?
rescind it, yes.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, thank you.
Motion and second. Roll call.
Okay. Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Foley?
No.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Trustee Royer?
Yes.
Supervisor Allen?
Yes. Reports by officers.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
We're moving.
We just moved the bylaws concerning public comments
Okay.
up before the public comments.
Okay.
What we spoke about last meeting was because it was brought to this board's attention about some possible threats and things like that, and some people were uncomfortable giving their address, their full address out. I didn't see any problem with not having to do that. I don't know what that brings to this board or to the township, knowing the exact address. They can say resident of Maryville, resident of Collinsville, Incorporated. That's just my opinion on it. So on the second page of our bylaws, it states that the person addressing the board shall give their name and address in an audible tone of voice for the record. And I just wanted to take out the address part. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I motioned to do.
It's the first I've heard of it, so let me take a look at this. Rule number 3 you're talking about?
Yeah, we talked about it last meeting.
Well, it was, yeah, it was broken last meeting, so that...
Right, I mean,
You know what, I mean, and I thought about that, but like I said, the threats are wrong, but I don't know if we're gonna legislate Facebook threats. That's kind of what we're doing here.
oh, well, it was more than a Facebook threat. Somebody came to somebody's house. That's why the address part is pertinent.
You know, if I get anybody's name, I can find out their address.
I just don't want this board to be a part of that.
Okay.
I made my piece. That's what I want to do. If anybody's for that, then I ask you to vote with me.
I think they should state their name what city and township they live in.
Sure.
And I think that ought to be clarified, that they actually live, if they don't live in our township, then that ought to be clear.
So,
That,
how about we make a motion that they state their name, what township they live in?
city and township.
City and township, I agree.
So you're moving to amend the citizens' participation paragraph?
Yes.
And are we gonna do an amendment by omission? We're just gonna scratch out a couple of things? We're gonna say, name and, or give their name, that's it?
Name,
Name, city.
Name, city, and township.
township they reside in.
Okay.
Address can be optional.
Yeah, I mean, if they wanna give their address, that's fine.
We have a motion and a second, roll call?
Oh.
Are you good on your end, Jack?
Yeah, that's easy enough.
Okay.
What about the sign-in sheet? Does everybody actually sign in, or do they have somebody that checks that, or, I mean, is it required that they sign in? I'm just curious, because I've
Says 5 minutes,
when I came to meetings before I was elected, I signed in, but
I'm guessing if something would happen, at least there would be a list of people's names. Some catastrophic thing happened, just saying.
I think the only time that a sign-in is really pertinent or needed is when we have an annual meeting, and we need to be able to identify who's an elector and who's not an elector.
So where is that in here that you had to sign in? Do you know exactly?
well, that's what I'm asking.
That's where I'm trying to figure out where to amend.
While we're amending this, if that's part
Do
of
it all.
this,
Yeah, I don't have.
why do we have that sheet, I guess, now that we're addressing the meeting rules, let's look at that too, because I've always wondered about that. On the town meeting, I think they're required to list their address.
Right, because they're the electors. I don't see it in here.
Is that the only reason we do that, is something happens?
Well, they're listed as present at the meeting.
I think maybe for the,
Listed on the
On the
minutes?
sign-in sheet,
Yeah, that's
yes.
a good point.
on the minutes, but now the minutes, none of them say what they say, so what does it matter?
But it is still on record that they were here.
That they were
It's
here.
listed, yes.
But I guess if they speak, then she'll get their name.
Not,
Not everybody speaks, so that's the whole
I don't know,
point.
I'm just,
I don't see
I
it
was
in-
curious why it was needed.
I don't
what
see it
you're
in
doing
here,
for-
Dan.
For the sign-in sheet, I don't know.
I don't see anything wrong with it, but just gives you a count of who all was here, and
Go.
Yeah, but you don't have to put your address on there.
Put your address or nothing, just your
Sign-in
name.
sheet, what's your feeling on
And if you wanna speak, you just state
We've
your
had it for a long
city and
time, I
township.
don't know why not keep it.
Jack, what page are you on?
that? The purpose is my question.
So I am on the second page of the bylaws.
I only got one page.
So
Well,
I'm
we got
in
the pages
second
that are
last
amended.
paragraph, citizens' participation.
I got those
Oh,
on my phone. It's not in our bylaw.
No, it's not in there. That's why I'm saying we should just let them sign in and if they want to, but they're not, it's not mandated. I don't see it.
Bones, what do you think about it? I mean, is it necessary, or
I've never heard it was necessary.
Brandon, your thoughts? I'm just trying to get
I
everybody's
don't
thought
have a
process
problem
here.
with it.
I don't see a need
I think it
for
gives the count to know who was here, but
Yeah, it's weird, all these meetings we've had, because some speakers have spoke, and you need to sign in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, where is it even in the bylaws? So, anyway, I think we vote on what we did and move on.
Will you have
I
a motion
have
and a second?
more, I'm ready to vote.
Yeah.
Point of order, what are the rules about changing the bylaws without written notification in advance that there's gonna be a change in the bylaws?
Well, it was on the agenda.
It was on the agenda that was published how long ago?
Oh, well, it's within law. The thing is, we talked about this October the 23rd at the meeting to put it on the agenda.
Yes,
So,
but all it says on the agenda is bylaw concerning public comment.
public comment.
It doesn't say anything about there being a
That's
change.
what we're voting on, ma'am.
I understand what you're voting on. I'm asking what the procedural rules are with regard to actually voting on a change to the bylaws.
Well,
yep, correct.
can we just put it on the next agenda then?
Hold on.
Motion to table.
Yeah, have our attorney answer the question. Are we within the law to vote on this tonight?
So, the line item G is kind of a gray area in the Open Meetings Act. I've actually sued other public bodies for having vague items in agendas before. I think that as written, it's probably okay, but it certainly could be challenged.
So what should it had said?
Well, if, had I been aware that there was gonna be a vote on this evening, I would have said, vote to amend, bylaws.
So then on the tax levy, I assume that we can't vote because it just says 2018 tax levy, instead say vote on 2018 tax levy?
So,
I mean, Right.
Again, I think that's right. It's a gray area, but tax levy is usually, that is something that's typically voted on. But I think that it should say vote or approve a levy. There should be some sort of action term rather than just nouns.
yeah, I tried to make it as clear as I could at the October the 23rd meeting, that I wanted this on the agenda, that I wanted to change this by law so they would not have to. I don't know how much more clear I could be, but whatever the board wants to do, whatever the public is okay with.
I would feel comfortable with just putting it on the next agenda, since somebody from the audience has brought it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, again, and it's on the video.
We got getting approval from somebody out there, or what's?
Well, we had a point, is it okay?
If you don't mind,
For me to
No,
look at it?
I'm asking him a question.
I was just looking at the audience. Is that okay?
No, you weren't. I think we should just put it on the next agenda, post it properly on the agenda, and we'll move on it. I think we're all in agreement on it.
I think as written, you could do it.
As written?
Yeah,
let's vote.
Okay, so you're saying we're okay? Okay.
It's not great, but I'm not
Okay.
sure that I think it would most likely survive a challenge.
And again, it was on our website, everything.
In terms of the posting requirements,
Okay.
it's fine. It's more than 48 hours.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead and
We have a motion.
have a motion and a second with the vote.
Okay.
We have a
You
motion
made
and
the
a second?
motion. Dan, you made the second?
No.
No, Mike
Oh,
Jerry
no, he
seconded.
seconded it.
Roll call.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
trustee Foley,
No.
trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
trustee Royer,
Yes.
supervisor Allen.
Yes. Okay. I don't think nobody's missed much.
And this is a motion by Cox to
Nobody's
amend
missed much.
citizens must be state name, city, and township
Yes.
in the title, right? Just so I know what she's gotta change there.
We can start with that tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, part of the change.
Public comments? None? Yes, sir.
For your first discussion, for you, Jack, public access counselor, binding opinion 14-010. You're not required to give your.
Can you state your name and?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mark Achenbach, and although it's not required.
No, your name and township is.
616 Westview Drive, Maryville, Illinois.
Okay.
The public access counselor, binding opinion 14-010.
Okay.
It's already been through the Attorney General's office. There's already a written, and it states in there that you don't have to put your. I tried to get your attention. I looked it up on my phone while you were talking and stuff.
We have to do what?
You do not have to give your name and address. It was a complaint that someone made, open meetings complaint to the public access counselor, which is part of the state's Attorney General office. The reason I got that wasn't why I wanted to stand up, but passing it to you. So tonight you're supposed to be talking about the tax levy, and I guess the first question I have is, I've been looking for a copy of the tax levy. Was that ever put out to the
It was
public?
posted out on
Was
this board, and it was posted on the
It was-
board.
It was never, you got a website, it was never on your website. I've been looking on your website to see if there was, you gotta have it on the website, so, here we are with the public, we're supposed to get an opportunity to comment on it. I personally haven't seen it. I don't even know if voting on it tonight will be legal because of that, so, the rules are a pain, but you gotta kind of follow them. Second item I wanted to talk about, and again, it's a little hard to do because I don't know the exact numbers, but I was told that the assessor's office in Edwardsville Township, they've only got 3 full-time employees, and our assessor's office has 8 positions, I guess now. I'm led to understand that there are currently two open positions. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was. There are 3 open positions? Okay, so 3 open positions. So there's a total of 8 positions, of which 5 are currently filled. The Edwardsville assessor's office has a total of 3 full-time positions, which 3 are filled. And then they also have some summer hires, I guess, that they bring on during the heavy assessment period, and I was told that was somewhere in like the $15,000 to $20,000 range of salaries for those personnel. So I guess I'm going to scratch my head, and again, I haven't seen the tax levy, so I can't really speak in any detail about it. But what I don't understand is Edwardsville Township and Collinsville Township are roughly the same size. We're in the same area, so I don't see a whole. We're both in the state of Illinois. We're both in Madison County. Although they're currently, they're different townships. But I don't get it. Why do we need more than twice the manpower to do the assessments in Collinsville Township as opposed to Edwardsville Township? Because that just simply means we, the taxpayers, are paying more for the same service that Edwardsville's getting for essentially half the cost. And, the one thing that I would point out is you as a board who approves the tax levy, if there are open, I thought there was 2, so Mike says there's 3, I'll take your word for it, there's 3 open positions. Nobody ever wants to let an employee go. That's hard to do. Nobody's ever in favor of that, but this would be the right time to downsize while there are open positions, because you're simply choosing not to fill the positions. And it's not like you have to give somebody a pink slip. It's hard. I mean, I'm on the card board. We gave a lot of pink slips out. Well, not a lot, but we gave some out. It's hard. The employees are good people, and nobody wants to do that. But in the other hand, you guys are here to service the township and the township residents, and we'd like to get the best service we can for the best price. So, there's something to do with the value. So I'd ask you to take a look at that and consider that. And then the other thing that I would like to talk about lastly was last year, everybody's the same except for the attorney. So it's a different attorney from last year. But, we had a knockdown, drag out, from the floor about the new statute in the state of Illinois that says townships can only have reserves of 2.5 years of the average of the last 3, and each individual fund is held as a reserve. And it's my understanding that, last year, you guys went forward, you didn't give any money back. There was a number of us wanted you to refund the money. You didn't. But in return, I noticed that there were at least 3 funds, the levy was 0. So what I'm hoping, and again, I haven't seen the levy, that every single fund that's still over the 2.5 times the average, 2.5 years over the average expenditures over the last 3 years, that again, each and every one of those funds is going to be levied at 0. Because if they're not, if you're going to levy money in a fund that's got more than 2.5 years of reserve, that's a problem. Because then you're indicating to us citizens that you don't care. At least if you're making progress and moving towards the goal, that says something. But if you don't care enough that you're going to levy, then maybe folks will have a different opinion. So anyways, that's all I have. Thank you.
Supervisor Allen, can I make a point to address that?
Yes, sir.
Mark?
Yeah.
We as a board cannot control the assessor's office or the highway department of their hirings.
Not the hirings, I'm talking about the budget. Levy less money, less money.
Budget we can.
That's what I'm
Hirings,
asking about,
you
the levy.
made the statement at that podium that those positions shouldn't be filled. We don't have control over that.
You can
There was
levy
a
less money.
lawsuit over it many years ago. I wasn't on the board at the time. And the assessor beat the township.
I think the assessor also sued in, I think it was Woodward Township, and he lost. So,
Not in Collinsville Township.
yeah, I'm not asking about who gets hired and fired, that's the assessors. That's the assessors.
Right, they don't have to.
But what I'm talking about is how much you levy in your general fund that goes to the assessor for him to pay his personnel. If he wants to hire 10 people at $30,000 a year, or one person at, $300,000 a year, that's his prerogative, because he runs the assessor's office. But you guys make the tax levy. You make the tax levy.
Tell him how much money he gets.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking, tax levy.
Right.
All right.
And one more point, we were given the levy last meeting. There was one of the funds that we're over on, so we instructed them to zero that one too.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
It's, you know what, I'm there with you.
There's 4, I'll bring them up tonight.
I guess while we're going ahead and answering your questions, I got a spreadsheet here of Collinsville, and I got, I think, roughly 14 copies. I don't know if I have enough, but I'll pass out what I got. This is Collinsville, Wood River, Alton, Granite, Edwardsville, and Jarvis. We have roughly 403 more parcels than what Edwardsville has. But if you look at Collinsville, Wood River, and also Alton, we have 2 employees that we budget for that are never hired. They're in the budget, but we never use them, basically. I guess it's there for emergency, or if you got, it's just that's why they're there. But all of these townships all match up, besides for Jarvis and Edwardsville. Now, what Edwardsville is doing, I have no idea, but if you look at all other 4, we're all right in the same vicinity.
I guess,
I'm talking number of employees.
Right. And I guess the only point I would make is Edwardsville Township, at least in my mind, maybe for other people it's not, is very similar to Collinsville Township. And you're right, it has a few less parcels, but we're talking out of like 16,000.
Right.
16,133, 16,536.
So it's a difference, 400 parcels, but when you compare that to the total of 16,000, we're talking about, it's nearly the same. So it's not such. And then I guess my second thing, you'd say, if you're budgeting for positions that you're never filling, and you're collecting the taxes from the taxpayers, what are you doing with the money? And why would you budget for positions that you're not filling? It just doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather keep the money in my own pocket, in my own bank account, and make my own interest than have you do that for me. Well, you don't do it for me because.
Yeah, last year ours was 387 payroll, Edwardsville's was 155. And you're right, they can hire one employee if they want at $100,000. That's up to the assessor.
What about their part-times?
I have that 16,000. I'll present all that when we get there. I have a letter, and I talked to Judy Klopmeyer, the Edwardsville Township Assessor. She explained what they do, how they do it. And I wanted to get you involved with that meeting. I didn't get a call until I think it was the day before Thanksgiving. And so I was like, give me an email,
I wasn't cooking yet.
Well, I was. So, anyway.
Okay. As far as the assessor's office goes, I'd like to hear from our assessor. Maybe
He wanted to be here tonight.
Maybe he's got an explanation here, but.
He got called out of town.
Okay. I just think we're talking about, suggesting to cut his budget and his thing. I don't think we need to levy for 2 additional employees. I really don't. I sincerely think that's, if we've never ever hired them, when's the last, were those positions ever filled that you know of?
Yes, there was 7 at one time.
I was told today by our office manager that there was 2 positions.
Right, there's only 2 open positions, yeah.
Oh, you said there was 3.
There were 7 at one time in that office.
Okay, so now there's 5 plus the assessor, which is 6.
Yeah, well, then if you take the 7 plus the assessor, then there was 8.
Okay.
So essentially, they used to budget for 3, now they only budget for 2 that aren't being hired for?
My understanding, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm just asking, I
No, I don't know what he's
you know a little bit more than I do,
As far as the payroll, and what I know from the past years, there's only been 2 other employees, 2 additional employees.
You used to have that many, huh?
He had 7 employees, yes, he did.
Okay.
Well, and just so you understand, Edwardsville, if you take the assessor, has 2 employees altogether, and they have part-time folks that all together, they're part-time.
Got 3 employees.
They're with their assessor. I have it right here for you, unless they're lying on their FOIA, you know, so anyway. Yeah, I guess. I can't go up there and see if they showed into work, but anyway, I apologize to the.
No, no problem.
Go ahead.
I have to agree with almost everything that's been said here tonight. Mark, you did a good job of presenting that, but the big thing about the Edwardsville Township versus the Collinsville Township is almost twice as much money to do the same amount of work. That don't make sense. And, it would have been nice to see Mr. Paletti here to explain all this, because this has been a topic of discussion for the last couple of meetings. But, that really definitely needs to be looked into. And whether they budget for 7 or budget for 10, if your levy says this amount, you can hire all the people you want, but you only got this much money to use, so it don't make any difference that way. My biggest concerns is, I know we're 2 years out on an election, but I would like to see these salaries set for the next administration coming in. I'd like to see work done on the bylaws, your hiring procedures, and I think it needs to be in black and white, just like every other organization. I mean, whether it be the city or the county. And my other biggest concern is the overages in, I believe, which is general assistance, which is like 8 years out, or 8 times over. We need to do something on it. But I think we should give it our consideration, see what we're gonna do with that fund. Thank you.
Anyone else? When you come to announce your name, even though.
Phyllis Roskis, Collinsville.
I know, I knew that.
Well, I'm Dave Keough, I'm also Collinsville.
Yes, sir.
My concerns also are the levy. Well said. Couldn't say it much better than that. So there's no sense in me going in it, except for, he made a valid point. You wanna hire 50 people, hire 50 people. This is the amount of money you got. That part, this board is in charge of. So, again, like he said, take consideration. If they're budgeting for 2 extra people, cut the budget in half to see who stays. Because Edwardsville's doing it with half the people, why can't we? And if it's because we don't have the quality of people in the assessor's office that they have, maybe we should hire quality people. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. But it's being a problem. One of my main concerns here is the board entire. Okay? I went back, I've rewatched the films, I've checked the minutes, which the minutes are atrocious. Okay? There were stuff in the minutes that was said, especially what I said, that was cut off in the middle, and it made me look like I was for the union, which I have no problems with the union, but it also said that I said something about all the trouble was started because our director of the senior center got a raise. And here's my problem with that. I wasn't upset that she got a raise, and it really wasn't a raise anyway. It's what was set for her to come on to work here. I was upset because she came in at a certain salary, and the other girls in the office found out about it, and they were upset because they haven't had a raise. And they had to go to the union to get fair treatment. That's this board's fault. The hiring process, making sure the employees are doing the right job, making sure they're doing a good job. I mean, every other company, every other business, every other place does the same thing. They evaluate their employees. And I hate to say it, I haven't heard a single board member complain about an employee not doing their job and not fulfilling their requirements. So why wouldn't they get a raise? I think the board needs to also realize, for the past 5 meetings, this levy's been brought up. It's also been told to everybody on this board that you're breaking the law. And yet still, we're still working on it. I think if the board is in a situation where you're breaking the law, That should be number one priority over everything else, is to get that straightened out. You guys work for us. We're the people. Okay? We pay your salaries. We are the reason you're here. Okay? And the other thing is tonight, since we moved things up a little bit, I finally heard over half the board speak. That's the first time, sorry, pretty much ever, except for the 5-year-old bickering back and forth. Okay? We need to be professional. We need to handle this professionally. And it needs to get done. We got to stop talking about it. We got to stop putting it off. It's got to get done. Okay? So what I did was, I decided to have one question for each board member. And I want that board member to answer that question that I asked them. And it's just random. I just want to make sure everybody speaks. We'll start with you, Mr. Foley. What's in the bylaws, and what does it say about people,
David, your time's up.
my
We
time?
don't actually have to address that.
Is it 5
I
minutes?
will.
No, it's 5. It's 5 minutes, and the citizens' participation, there's a time limit of 5 minutes, it says. Well, here's the
Okay.
bylaws. Hold on.
Vote on the township.
I don't think it's a problem.
It's 5, I think.
We didn't even film the other, we didn't even do the time on the other people.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, did you? Well, it's 5.
All right, resume, sir.
You have a minute.
Okay. Well, my question for you is, I mean, how many meetings can a board member miss and not be either docked money or let go? That would be my question for you. My question for Mr. Hopkins is, how much are we getting done on the levy? How much more we got left to do? And where's the money going that we're getting rid of? Okay? My question to the lawyer, how far out of illegal are we? What's the penalty? Okay? As far as the minutes go, the lady I was going to address isn't here to do the minutes.
Thank you. I'm having a hard time keeping up with everything you're saying, so
Okay, as
if I
far as
get one
Trustee
wrong.
Cox, you know, I think that you do come off sarcastic sometimes. I do believe that it does irritate a few people, and I would like to see a little more professionalism. I mean, I know things get worked up here, people get upset, people say things that they don't mean, and things like that. And my question is to you, are we going to raise the bar here? Are we going to raise it to where this is professional? Are we going to raise this to where things can get taken care of? And my question that I had set up for you was, I watch the films, and I very rarely see you speak up on anything except for yay or yes or okay or no. I want to know where you stand on all this. What exactly do you do here at the board except for vote? So that's all I got to say, and feel free to start answering those questions.
I'll answer that.
Anybody else speak?
My name is Carrie, and I'm a Collinsville resident. I also had a question for Mr. Foley, as why you've missed so many meetings, and are they excused or are they not excused? I see the union contract was also on the agenda tonight. I want to know on record before we all move forward, when Brandon said the attorney advised him that it was okay to sit in on the meeting, was the township attorney or not? What are the consequences for him clearly violating business ethics that was read? What is the stance on every board member in Collinsville Township paying double for the assessor's office of what Edwardsville pays? I'm also very disgusted that every single time this meetings happen, there's always bickering. Like everybody's like 2 years old. They're always fighting. Nothing's getting done. It's the same thing over and over again. There's no reason why everybody can't come together and fix whatever needs to be fixed for us. There's no reason. That's all I have.
Anyone else? Moving on. reports by officers, committees, or special committees?
I got a couple, and then I'll answer everybody's question, and then let you guys, have the floor. I wanna address something, first of all, in our audit. And since Vicky's here, well, first, who is in charge of our money when it's in the bank? Who is in charge of that?
Mr. Frazier.
Okay. I brought it up last year, and I was promised this would never happen again. In our audit, there's a finding. The credit risk says, as of March 31st, 2018, over $50,000, $56,000 of the township's bank balance was exposed to custodial credit risk as uninsured and uncollateralized. And to make it simple, the FDIC insures money up to, what, $250,000? Something like that, all right? We have to have our money insured, and it explains in here what custodial credit risk is. It explains that if in fact the bank were to fail, your tax dollars have to be protected. This is a pretty simple thing.
Right, and the bank sends the money out to the Federal Reserve. They send us letters monthly that cover this. If there's a deposit from the treasurer's office, the county treasurer's office, like the end of the year on March, it would go in, it crosses the line. So $56,000 it was insured eventually. Once it came in from the county into the bank account, that was over. We have a letter, we have letters in a file in the safe at the office that states how much money has been sent out to Federal Reserve.
So it sounds like you're in charge of it, though.
No, I'm the one that gets the letters and puts them in the file, so I know what it says. And I worked in banking for 30 years.
Yeah, exactly, and I want you to be right, and so you understand it, and so I just don't want this in our audit again, and it happened last year, it's the same thing.
Right, but it is covered. It's just because deposits, like they come in directly from the county or something like that, that go right into the account, it offsets it, like at the end
So
of the month.
if we could just be shown that it is covered.
We took part of the money from that one account and moved it to another banking institution, so where it should never happen again. It should be covered because it's been moved to another institution.
What was the date on that?
March.
This audit, we just got, a month ago.
It said, my
Right, as of when the audit came out, March 31st, 2018.
tax levy money stops coming in after the first of the year.
No, we get money all the way up to March.
Well, I know we get money, but the majority of it, I mean, are we not sweeping those accounts enough? So they don't go over the 100,000, or?
That is the end of the audit, March 31st, that's the date that's on there.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what month it was that it was over, because it doesn't state that in there, right? It just states that it was over during that
It
time.
doesn't give a date that it was over.
No, March 31st was the end of our year.
In the last fiscal year is what it says.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm just, maybe, I mean, do we know when the county's gonna do the disbursements?
No, I just got papers in today, so I mean, we just got another tax bill due next week, so
Can we just,
now that they divided it.
can we sweep those accounts, and can we check them during tax season, please? I mean, really, your busy time's July through December, right? I know that from other reasons, but yeah.
I also want to give, because it's very important what happened during the election, and it's going to have an impact on all the township residents. And so I want to give council township residents an update on the effort that this board, while not unanimous, did endorse the dissolving of CARD. On November the 6th, over 80% of the voters agreed that it shall be dissolved. I was very happy to lead in this effort and so proud of the team that came together to work hard, sometimes 7 days a week, to get 25% of registered voters to sign so you guys could vote. Now, you may have heard, City Council is suing CARD taxpayers in the township for money that is still in the CARD bank account. I want to remind everyone, when I say Collinsville Township, that includes Collinsville City residents, Maryville Village residents, small parts of Glen Carbon, Pontoon Beach, and of course, residents in the unincorporated areas. We all paid into CARD. This remaining money is all of ours. In several letters over the summer, it stated that any leftover money would go to pay down the debt, saving us all interest that 81%, 80-something% voted on. Here's what the law says. It's 70 ILLCS, section 13-5.
Point of order, Terry.
Yeah.
Is this township business?
It absolutely is.
How is it? Is this on there, it's a report.
This is a
You're under
report.
reports by officers, committees, and special committees.
So you don't think that our taxes are relevant,
It's a
our tax
separate tax
money is
fund.
relevant?
It's a separate tax fund. You know what?
It
I'm
absolutely-
all for you, okay?
I'm almost done. Can you let me finish?
I don't know if you're almost done, but
Okay.
I still
I'll
think
briefly-
I think it's out of order, but
It's not. This is very, the
Go ahead
citizens
with
elected
it.
me to help with
Well,
this.
go on with it now.
All money remaining after business affairs of the Park District have been closed up and all debts and obligations of that district have been paid shall be paid to the school treasurer for the township in which the Park District or the greater part therefore was situated. I can go on with the law, but the part that really to recognize in the law is the part when it says when all debt is paid, the remaining balance shall go to the school district. Unfortunately, the school district, for the school district card still has $17 million in debt. So nowhere in the law does it state that the money will go to the cities or the township involved. I want to give you an update because while I find it very unfortunate that the city is suing CARD, again, us taxpayers, you should not be discouraged. While I feel in the long run the city will not win, I remind you, even if they do, we will now pay zero in operating cost to CARD. If CARD wins the lawsuit, we'll owe 15 years on the debt. If the city of Collinsville wins, we'll owe 17 years on the debt. I'm excited to have a positive announcement about how CARD dissolving will directly affect this center at the next meeting, but it's all in all, it's very positive for the Collinsville Township. It's unfortunate when taxpayers sue the same taxpayers, as in the end, nobody wins, sometimes attorneys. That's about it. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the only people who win, is when taxpayers sue taxpayers' attorneys. I'll address some of the questions. I'll start at the top. Mark asked how many assessors, why do we need double, and the fund. So, we'll get to that in the levy, I think. I have all the FOIA information, what we pay, what they pay, and it's double. And I think it sounded like we were starting to get on agreement. I agree with Mark. If we are 2.5 years over, if we are against the law, every single one of those levies needs to be zero for the next year. And there's 4 of them that I can find that we were asking money on the initial levy. So now we'll have 2 weeks to reconcile that, but they need to be zero. Phil Ostrowskis talked about the overages again and again. I've tried to get this board to come along and give the money back, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Again, those levies must be zero. David's question to me, I come off sarcastic, and how can I maybe raise the bar? And I do apologize. That's my personality, but I will tell you this. I'm a nice person. If you knew me, I'm a nice person, all right? Gentleman in the back, we had a conversation, and before I thought he didn't like me, and he knows that my family and stuff. I'm a nice guy, but I did not run for politics. I will say this. I did not run and get into politics or this to go to a ribbon cutting to get my picture in the paper, to go to a fancy luncheon. I got in here to try to make things better. And sometimes change may offend some people. I'm not personally against anybody. I told you that, Kathy, too. I am not. I just want things to get better, and I'm sorry if I come off like that. I'm not that type of a person. Lastly, Carrie, she says she's tired of the fighting. I want this board. It takes more than just one, though. It takes, if I come up with something, I need one more to even get a second to even have a vote, as we saw earlier. I want this board to come along and us to come together, and I hope we can. She mentioned something about you, and she said something about, was it the lawyer that gave you the advice? I think is what she was trying to say, and I think you wanted to make it clear. You never gave the advice.
You told me not. Yeah, I told you.
Right.
Right.
So I just want that on the record, because I think that's what she was asking. I'm done. You guys can answer your questions.
Anybody else?
I'll answer mine.
So, I'll go next. I'll kind of go out of order here. him, he said he made a mistake, said he wasn't gonna do it again. And I think we all told you that, you know, really what was discussed in there was even put out in public over an FOI. So everything, you know, whether he told somebody, which he didn't, that I know of, but what was discussed in there was the exact form that was put out. I saw it on Facebook. And someone did an FOI on us, and the document that we discussed was put out on Facebook. So, you know, he admitted he made a mistake. Hasn't done it since. We've had another executive session. So, what have I done on the levy? I made emails, I've done phone calls, I even talked to our accountant out in the hallway tonight. You know, I'm the one last meeting who said, hey, we're over on this one line that I know of. I said, we need to zero this. And everybody concurred. I also asked, and he sent us all, you know, an email. Did I not? I said, let us know which funds are over. Because really, we lowered the levy last November, December for the budget year beginning April 1st. He's estimating on our expenses, because this year isn't even over yet. So he's kind of doing an approximation estimate over what we're anticipating spending. It's an educated guess on the amounts. But yeah, there's probably one or two more funds, in my opinion. I mean, there's 3 that were over. But if you look at the levy versus what we spend, you know, we'll look at the numbers when we get there. But I believe that, you know, I'm the one that brought it up last time with one of the funds, and I asked him to analyze it. I don't announce everything I do, you know. You know, some people told me I don't do anything up here at the senior center. You know, they said, you ought to be like Derek and go up there and deliver Meals on Wheels. I think most of the people here know me. I'm here probably between 5 to 15 days a month. I haven't been lately because I've been sick, but I don't want to come up here and get them sick. And some days I don't want what they have. If I hear, you know, somebody sick up here too. But I don't announce what I've done up here. You know, I do it and I move on. I didn't get in this for recognition. I get in here. I took this position to serve. I serve and I move on. So if you ever want to know, I'll tell you in private what I do around here and what I've done. I'll be happy to do it. But I'm not going to announce on here what I've done, what, you know, I'll even tell you what I haven't done. No, I'm just saying, you know, I mean, it's like, I'm not up here to do this, okay? If people want to do that, they can do that. But that's not me, okay? I'm not that person, okay? You could shirt off my back and go home without a coat right tonight if I had to. So, you said we don't speak enough.
Where do we stand?
With the levy? What do you mean, which part?
You said that there's 3 accounts that are still open?
When we get to that part, we're gonna talk, yeah, we're jumping around as it is right now, but you said we don't speak enough. Sometimes, I listen to my dad, who's now gone, but he said God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. I try to live by that. Use what you got the most of, okay? Sometimes when I don't, it gets me in trouble. So, there you go. As far as the assessor's office, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'd like to hear from him. You're welcome to call him, ask him. But I want to look at those. I didn't realize we had 2 positions that were not funded. So when we get to the levy, I want to talk about that. I already made a note here. So, and that's pretty much all I have on that.
Anyone else? Mike?
Yeah, I'd like to address the couple over there, and that said about me missing meetings and that. I missed very few meetings. I missed one because of an illness, and I missed one because of a power surge in my house one night, and I couldn't leave because I had power people and an electrician there. Other than that, Supervisor Ellen, you can correct me if I'm wrong, do I miss many meetings? Not many.
Right.
Thank you. I'm not debating you or saying you're not right or anything like that. I'm just telling you what the deal is. And the same thing with the levy goes. I'm not in favor of raising any of them. I haven't. been in favor of raising them for a while. But there's gonna come a point to the time that money's only gonna take us so far. I don't know what that point in time is, if I'll still be around then, I don't know. But when I first came on this board was broke. And myself and another trustee at that time went out to the general public, taxpayers and stuff like that, and we got out of probably talking to about 2,500 people. We got 3 that were no's, 2 that were kind of waffling, and everybody else said, because we had the sheet made up, price of your house, how much it would go up if we raised it to such and such and that. You can't raise it any more than 5%, and we didn't even raise it 5%. And people said, for what you guys do, for what township does and that, we have no problem with that. Now, do you think a bunch of other entities would go out there and do that? Nope. We stuck our necks, me and another trustee stuck our necks on the line.
But you would agree
Turn the
then,
township
you
around.
would agree then, sounds like, then the 4 accounts that we're gonna go through that are over 2.5 years, that we should levy 0.
I've said it before, Jared.
Oh, last meeting you didn't, but this is great. This is perfect. Awesome.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'll go ahead and answer mine to you. Try to look at everybody. I joined this, I'll be straight up in front of everybody, in front of the camera, everything. I'm new to this. This is something new to me, something I wanna learn. I'm very into helping people. I've always, my father's sitting right there. He's raised me that way. I've always helped out at the American Legion with, veterans and everything. It's in my, it's what I like to do. I'm learning this stuff. There's been quite a few people that's mentioned that we need young blood in here that, you know, I'm trying to do my part. There is times that I don't say much. A lot of these past meetings though, it's been nothing but bickering and throwing stones and saying names, and I'm not gonna bicker. I'm not gonna bicker. Now, if we wanna sit here and talk about what we can do for people that need help around Christmas time, or what we can do for people that's out in the cold, then let's talk. I'm not gonna sit here and bicker back and forth about, because these employees want to join a union, and they join a union that I belong to. It's not my decision, it's their decision. You know that as well as I do. Anybody joining a union, they just go out and do it. They don't, so that's why I don't say much back and forth about the bickering when I'm not here to bicker. I wanna get stuff done, I wanna help this place out, I wanna build this up, I really do. And I think we can. We get past all this and start working on coming up with some ideas to do some stuff, I think we can get there. And I think you guys would be proud of us. We want to be proud of everybody. I'm really trying to, I want you guys to be proud of me at the end of the day.
Anybody else?
I got an extra question.
Yes. Oh, that's right, you got that.
I got a question, and I
Go ahead.
I hate to read it dangling. Well, I would never escape. So I think what you're asking about is the 2.5 times amount on the levy, the levies that are too high. So there is there's a statute, and it is a kind of an unusual statute that recently came on in the last couple of years for township funds. And it essentially says, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, but it says a fund shall not, and shall not is strong language, shall not exceed 2.5 times the average yearly amount required. The average is determined by the 3 years previous years. It says that very strongly, that shall not exceed. What the statute lacks is what happens if it is too high. In that instance, case law and common law kind of kicks in, where around 2.5 times is where a taxpayer can file a tax objection. But typically, if the municipality the public body, or in this case, the township, just zeroes out the levy, that's usually enough to satisfy any problems. So in terms of how illegal are we? Well, anything, for township, anything over 2.5 times is violative of the law. What do? You get rid of the levy until you're in compliance. And I think that's what the plan is.
That's one way.
Well,
Right. And everything you said is right. Right. The other way is to return the money.
so I don't know that there is a rebate provision that we could lean on. With the, like when the Wood River Township gave their money back, they had to get a special, they had to get something passed up in Springfield to authorize them to do
Right, I
that.
had that law where to rebate the money, and, because another township,
The Wood River Hospital was defunct, so it was different, it wasn't
Right,
an active unit
right.
of government.
Right, that's right.
but I mean, it's possible, but this board, it doesn't seem like we're gonna do it. We've been arguing about this for a year.
Right.
So the way we have went about it is to make these levies zero.
Right.
Okay.
I'll make one statement about that. You know my feelings on the refund, but just like the law you quoted for the card, if this happens, then they gave provisions. The money will go A, B, or C. That law that they made is the only law I've ever seen that doesn't have a remedy or a penalty, civil or criminal, behind it. Okay? There's nothing behind it. I'm sure, I think, I don't know about the card law or whatever, which one you're reading, but there's probably somewhere in there, there's, that says this is a business offense or something. It's not even categorized.
Yeah, I didn't find that.
Well, look at, I can show you. I'll be happy to sit down with you. And laws are usually classified. That's not even classified as a civil, criminal. I mean, it's pretty much, it's a very...
So what are you saying, since there's a law and there's no penalty, then
No.
just break it?
I think that you do your best at addressing it. And I think by us reducing the levies to zero, that's addressing it. They just can't expect us to, I mean, if we had 4,000 parcels, maybe, but 16, I don't think the taxpayers want us spending their money to send them back a $3.50 check.
It wouldn't be $350. Last year, it was nearly $1 million. I mean, but in the other way,
$16 a household on average, a parcel.
I don't know where you're getting these numbers. That's not what the numbers that I had. But again, though, this is a positive, though. Instead of returning the money, okay, we are going to save the taxpayers, since we were elected, this board was elected. The way I was doing it, now I can look at it closer, it's going to be nearly $500,000 over the last 2 years.
It'll be more than that by the time this year.
Well, but what I'm saying is, so that is, we are making positive, I mean, it's not my number one thing, but at least
Right.
that is a positive, so.
Well, I'll say this and we can move on. I voted no on some things, and and they passed anyway. So, you know what, I don't get my way everything on this thing, so I hope you understand. When I walk in that door, I'm one vote of 5. If I'm one of the 3, great. If I'm not, I can live with it too. So, I'm not gonna stomp and scream if I don't get my way.
Anyone else? Okay, approval of the bills, which includes $11,100 for the annual audit. In the general assistance, $428.67.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mike, second by?
Yes. I'll second it.
Yeah, motion and second. Any questions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
Trustee Foley,
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
Trustee Royer,
Yes.
Supervisor Allen.
Yes. The road and bridge for $113,963.33.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Any questions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
Trustee Foley,
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
Trustee Royer,
Yes.
Supervisor Allen.
And Larry had to buy a new truck too.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
that would be $26,624.00.
I think he told us about it a couple meetings ago. It was in the budget, right, Larry? Right. Thank you. Motion to approve the equipment expenditure.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Foley?
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Trustee Royer?
Yes.
Supervisor Allen?
Yes. On the town fund, $77,903.86.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? If none, roll call.
Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Foley?
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Trustee Royer?
Yes.
Supervisor Allen?
Yes. The senior center, for the senior center is $67,023.15.
That's the balance, correct?
I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's-
say, good
that's-
lord, that's the whole thing.
No, that's the balance.
I'm sorry.
This is the,
What I did.
okay, this isn't the taxpayer.
raise. You got a new
Yeah.
truck too.
Make you smile.
This is the balance of the donated funds from the ladies. This
Yes.
is not any
And then the ones below it are allocated to people's memories, right?
Yes, they
Al
are.
Tognorelli, Lorraine Keller, and Bill Allen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Do we vote on that?
not yet.
And then we
Didn't
got
spend
the,
nothing.
Right, okay.
we got senior center breakfast and lunch is $26,639.51.
That's just the balance.
That's the
there.
balance.
balance.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no more expenditures.
Yeah. And another balance of senior citizen building, $19,987.46. And correspondence. The holiday trivia, that's Saturday, December 1st. Are we gonna be,
We're putting it on.
It's held here. We're not, there's a gentleman that puts it on in Florida.
yeah,
Get food pantry?
It all goes to, yes, all the
all
donations go to
together.
the, yes.
They're not asking for a donation, right?
No,
no.
no, he's just wanting people to join and sign up to be a part of the team. He's asking,
Oh, they're looking for teams?
they're looking for teams for the holiday trivia. They have this every year, and they collect hand goods and toys and,
All right.
to supply our food pantry.
Maybe the board should get that on the table.
We're already in a parade the same night.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a letter from the soup kitchen.
Can't move.
Dear Collinsville Township Board members, Soup Kitchen Coalition and patrons of SOS are grateful for your continued support of the ministries with your donation of canned vegetables. We could not help the families of the Collinsville area without backing like yours. SOS Soup Kitchen feeds an average 211 meals a week, spending approximately $509 per meal, and an additional $1.59 per sack lunches we send home with patrons. Support like yours makes a difference in our community. Without it, we could not minister to so many of our neighbors that are in need. On behalf of the children who participate in Homework, Health, and Hoops program at St. John's Evangelical United Church of Christ, thank you for your donation of $3,200 to help us feed the children in the community during the summer. We also appreciate the donation of non-perishable food items for the Tote Me Home program bags. We send home with the children in our summer program and also during the school year, during the weekend. As I told you in September meeting, we feed a hot lunch to an average of 76 children a day. Right now, they have 132 kids that they send the Tote Me Home with every weekend, which provides a meal for that child for the whole weekend. So it's like 3 meals. And we donate canned goods and whatever else that we have that they require of us. Yeah, accomplishment reading. Yeah, I think that's great stuff that you got in on
Yeah.
your summer.
Can we,
What's that, Mike?
can we move to,
Are you done with
new
correspondence?
business, let Mr.
Well,
Poppy,
we'll
Mr.
see those
Whitman,
others.
I am, they're coming up,
Mr.
they're coming up
Ferris
over
speak, 'cause Mr. Ferris has been at a conference in St. Louis all day, so he's had a long day.
He's on their unfinished business next.
Yeah.
Are you on unfinished business?
No, whenever she's done.
Unfinished business, well, it's the Christmas at the Collins House, the parade, so, they asked what you were doing in as far as a float or truck or what you're doing.
Are we gonna have time to do a float or something?
If you have a vehicle in it, it needs to be some type of a dressed vehicle, I should say,
A decorated with
Yes.
lights.
something, yes.
Fire truck.
We can
Talk
put
about
together on
that
that, yeah.
later.
Okay,
All right, I'd like to make a motion, we suspend the, rules and move, the union contract to the, last item of business tonight.
I can second that.
we got a
Second.
first and a second, roll call.
Mike, did you second that?
I did.
Derek. Trustee Cox?
Yes.
Trustee Foley?
Aye.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Trustee Royer?
Yes.
Supervisor Allen?
Yes, on the 2018 tax levy, Mr. Jim Ferris, would you like to?
I think all of you got the spreadsheet that I did, that you requested that I would prepare for you. On the township levy, 2 of the 6 are over the 2.5 years average expenses. And that's the audit, which you're not levying anything for the audit this year or last year. And the other one is insurance. The levy is $60,897. It's up to you, you're the board, you can make it 0. And then, it's not gonna, the dollar amount, if you wanna look at it, how I projected it, the 2.5-year average, of expenses is not quite $60,000, $59,701. The projected fund balance for March 31st of 2019 is $282,527.
We should zero that way.
So if you zero it, you know,
Can I ask
no,
you
go
too,
ahead.
on the, did we zero, cause on the county's website, it shows 0 on that last year, but you're saying that we, 60,000 last year, what was the levy for that last year?
Last year it was $60,897.
That was 0.
I'm telling you,
The audit was 0 last year.
the audit was 0, but I'm talking about the insurance.
It was not 0 last year. It
Cause
was
on the county website, it says 0.
0.
So, I don't know how that gets switched.
Well,
Same thing about general assistance. No, it's not a bad thing, but.
no, but I'm just saying, unless it just got populated from the from the previous.
Same thing on general assistance. What does it show that we levied last year in general assistance? 36,000.
$36,327.
On the county, it says we levied 0.
We zeroed that.
So how does that get switched from what we vote on and then
Well,
what we actually levy?
water under the bridge.
I know it,
We're gonna
so-
zero them again.
Okay,
So it was 0 last year?
Should've been.
that's what the county says, and that's why I'm like, my numbers don't match up.
Well, what I prepared and gave you, you know, I have a copy of it, and it was all
But I think
approved
at the-
last year.
Yeah, but at the meeting, we
Uh-huh.
zeroed those at the meeting. So somewhere in the,
Well,
maybe you weren't informed what happened at
Well,
the
no,
levy meeting.
I know on the public assistance, general assistance,
We zeroed it.
that it went down drastically,
Yeah,
but I didn't think it was,
You
went
have
to
to levy
0.
something with GA, it's like, there's a minimum or something, but it was 0 as far as the levy.
So, if you could, this would be the biggest
Go
help
ahead.
for me, my numbers. And I went by the audit, all right? So, tell me where I'm wrong,
Okay,
all right? On the general funds insurance,
uh-huh,
last year we spent $22,111.
right,
It shows a balance of $243,000 in
Right.
there. So that is nearly a 10-year surplus. I'm right there? These are approximate
Right.
because it's, okay, that's all I'm asking. General assistance, last year we spent $101,400, and we had a balance of $478. That would be nearly a 4-year, okay? The audit Last year, we spent only $3,900. The 3-year average is right around there, by the way, too, on all these. And we have $33,000, so that's nearly a 10-year surplus. And the other, my fourth one, is the road and bridge insurance. $478,000 is in that account. Last year, we spent $90,915. So those are 4 accounts, not
Well,
2.
I was just going over the township, the town side. I didn't
Okay.
get the road and bridge yet.
All right.
Okay. So there's 3 then in the town, is that where we're agreeing on?
Correct.
Okay,
And that would be the audit, insurance, and general.
general assistance.
I wonder where you got your fourth one.
Well, that's road and bridge.
I know, I wasn't.
Oh, gotcha,
I'm not
gotcha.
going.
Yeah. And so that one is over a 4-year as well, and that I would motion that we make that one 0 as well, because we're over the law limit on that, and get more in line.
I'm gonna ask one question. Are we a couple years off, Larry, for the Lebanon Road project? I mean, our insurance won't go up when we start that or anything?
We're off.
For what?
I'm the one taking care of that. Yeah,
That's
we
fine.
just got another letter that pushed us back another year.
So we'll be okay. We're not gonna have no foreseeable.
Not right now, no,
Okay,
we
well,
could then.
we'll watch it every year. That's all we can do.
Insurance, right.
Okay.
But we realized 4 years ago our insurance started going down.
Which is
It wasn't
good.
going up.
Mhm.
So we started zeroing out our levy, thinking it would stay, but it's gone down. So we cut it back 80 grand last year. Our
Right, I
levy.
noticed that. So what were we proposing this year?
We just went with what we had, lowered it again, and kept it at 0.
So it is at 0, the road and bridge
We're
insurance?
not raising anything.
Okay, so it's at 0 then?
It's at 30,000 with a 0% increase.
Oh, okay.
I sell insurance in the audience, you hear that?
Oh, that's great. We'd love a bid.
What they heard is we have a $478,000 balance.
Public information.
They could care less about the levy. They heard the big balance.
Let's see if we can get somewhere close to this. We can't vote on it tonight,
No.
but if we can get close, where then
But
the
you
next
tell me
meeting.
what you want, and then I will make
That's
the
right.
changes, and I will get that to you Thursday.
So,
Okay.
I don't know how the best way to do this is. I will make a motion that we make these 4 accounts
I don't.
0 on the levy, and then he can make the changes, and then we actually vote on the overall levy.
Do we really need a vote? I think we just agree upon it, can't we? Or do we?
That's fine,
do we
too.
need a vote?
No, we're not voting on the levy.
No, that's what I'm saying.
We're voting on changes to make
We
in the
don't- We
levy.
don't need to
the
vote on
changes.
anything. We just need to, I think we all just need to concur.
Do you agree, Mike?
Those changes, yeah, we just need to, like, survey
Okay.
everybody, because when we vote on it, it's gonna be a final
So
document.
on the town side, obviously audit was 0 last year, so it will stay 0. Insurance will go from 60,897 to 0, or if it was 0 last year, it's gonna stay at 0.
Right.
Public assistance will go to 0 from $36,327. Social Security, I'll read the amounts for
Yeah.
the rest of them. General corporate is $1,077,395. Audit 0, insurance 0, IMRF, the levy is $69,938, the exact same amount as it was the year
And
before.
we're okay on that.
Same thing on the general corporate.
Well,
And, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
you said the IMRF was 69,000, is that about what we spend a year?
Last year, we spent, $55,581.
All right, I'm good, thank you.
It's close, I mean, I'm gonna
Right.
say,
Within
and realize that,
20%.
you know, the fund balance of the IMRF is a negative $118,000.
It's always gonna be
Yeah, it's
somewhat
always gonna
negative.
be that way, it's just how. And Social Security will be $59,344, that will be the levy.
I guess
I don't have the total for all that, but
We're good. I guess my one question is, we
Uh-huh.
did have a negative, and on the thing that I wish we had the positive on, is the senior center. It looks like we levied 21,000 last year. That's what, it's on page 37,
I don't know.
senior center. Oh, no,
there's no levy.
There is no levy.
There's no levy for
No,
that,
it's
so.
all included with town.
So I guess, okay, so let me just, so I can understand it. We spent 62,
Okay.
All right, and it shows that it says revenues for the seniors 21, so are those revenues coming in from food and things like that? Okay, so we don't levy anything, because I was gonna say we could maybe put some money actually into the senior center.
We do, we transfer.
We
like
transfer it out of the
transferred
general fund.
50,000 out of the general fund into the
Okay.
senior center.
But we've been real lucky with it.
Perfect,
Yes.
yep. So, we're good on there.
So that's the town,
Yeah.
we've got them. Okay.
And then the
Go to
road and bridge.
Road and
insurance.
bridge, the two of them are over.
No, there's one over. The only one over is the insurance.
Well, tell me what your two are.
I have, the regular road and bridge is over.
No, it's not, because we have the, money allocated
Capital
for
improvements.
Did,
Okay,
special
okay.
fund.
we had to do that last
So
year.
of the projected fund balance, part of that is allocated to the,
Right.
Right, the
Lebanon Road,
in
okay,
Maryville,
okay.
yeah. Old
Forget
Troy,
that.
Old Troy Road,
Okay.
Lebanon Road project.
Okay. Well, the audit wouldn't break that out, though, I don't think it does.
It does.
The audit does?
This year, yeah.
Should.
Okay. I'm not,
Yeah, I don't see it on here
I don't
either.
think so, and
On
I don't
the
think it does
capital,
on
I
that
don't see it on the
schedule.
audit.
In the footnotes, it may state something
Right.
that, of that fund balance in road and bridge,
Road and bridge insurance, yeah, it doesn't cap your overall and your cap on your equipment. Yeah, so anyway.
So, going over the road and bridge levy, the regular road and bridge levy would be $498,301. That's the exact same amount as last year, and that's after the 40% deduction that goes to the city of Townsville.
In Maryville.
And the audit is $1,952. Insurance, you want it to go to zero,
Right.
correct? Okay, it will go to zero. IMRF is $96,222. Social Security is $59,154. Permanent road, I don't know, it's based upon the tax collected and stuff, so there is no, it does have a negative fund balance, so, you know, or it only has $114,000 of fund balance. I project it'll be negative, come, March of 2019. And equipment and building, the levy, will be, $207,946. I'll make those changes.
Okay.
I'll get them to you, Vicki, Thursday. I'll bring them by Thursday and stuff.
Thanks for coming.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks.
You can get out of here.
Okay.
The only thing that I wanna add, and, that I will be a yes vote on is, we're good on the new balances, all right? I want to address the assessors, all right? I'm gonna give you guys an email of the email that I got from the Edwardsville Township assessor. Like I said, I wanted, and I talked to Dan last time, I wanted to, figure out what they're doing, and how can we do it as good as, basically, we're not as efficient, you know, I mean, they're spending half of what we are. The email says, per our conversation on November the 21st, Edwardsville Township Assessor's Office does not contract any of our work out. I have 2 full-time employees, 1 part-time employee at this time. For the 2019-2020 budget, I will be looking for another part-time employee and part-time employees for the summer college students. I have very dedicated and hardworking employees. Sometimes their jobs overlap, but we always manage to get the work done on time. Have a great day. Basically, when I talk to her, what they do is they hire during the summer college students at minimum wage to go out, take some of the pictures, and that's how they save the money. They have 2 full-time employees, while we, and our FOIA, because we're getting mixed how many people's in there, and on our bills tonight, it looked like 7 to me, but anyway, our FOIA shows that we also have, with the assessor, 8 altogether. Now, if there's not 2 that are filled right now, then again, this is the best time to do it, and the reason is, they are still working on last year's levy all the way up until March. They'll have time to figure out, and I'm not suggesting cut it to where they are. All I'm saying is, maybe it's a 25% cut, and those two, like Mr. Achenbach said, we're not looking to fire anybody, but those two positions, they don't rehire those.
If they've never been filled, and I know for the last, I was coming to meetings before I got elected, for the last almost 2.5 years, I would be in favor of removing them from the levy. We don't need a levy for something that's not being used. I don't, no.
And so that, okay, so we're almost there, so what would be the dollar amount? Because that's what it all comes down to. I mean, I suggest $100,000, that's right around 25%. And then he'll have 6 months to, you can figure it out.
The dollar amount's I'm gonna have to do some math, so I can probably get it for you tomorrow. Or maybe before I leave tonight.
Well, we're only 2 votes, what do you think?
I'm comfortable with cutting positions that aren't filled, because they haven't been filled for how long, you think, Mike? Yes, I'm not gonna hold you to this, but I'm just.
I guess that's what I'm worried about. I don't know how long they have not been filled, so. I know you say that they haven't for
3 years, as far as I
I'm
know.
gonna say about 2 years.
2 years? You know what? I don't think we need, I'm for,
Year and a half.
I'm for cutting them. If we think we can cut other money in there, I don't wanna do that without consulting with people.
Right.
And I'd love to know why.
I won't vote for that at all. I think we owe him that respect.
Right.
No, and I would love to know why, how they do it. And there's no magic, it's just, it says here, they just work hard.
I said it last meeting, I said it this meeting. I'd like to hear it from him.
Oh, from Pete? Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't handcuff him, I guess, to get him in here. I don't know what else.
Right, he was coming in, he got.
Well, we're voting on the levy now, next thing, but you're open to it.
Well, either, I don't know about their time constraints, but maybe the next meeting or a special meeting, we have to.
So, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at.
I'm open for taking the 2 out, that's all right now, okay? And I think in the next, we need to, address the efficiency, number of employees, et cetera.
Okay.
But I'll.
Because right now they have, it looks like, I guess we're paying them, what you're saying, Mike, is altogether with Pete, 6, correct? And they have 3. They have 3.
Yeah.
They have their assessor, and they have 2 full-time employees. We have 6 full-time employees. Do you see what I'm saying? So even if we do what Dan and I are talking about, just not hiring those 2, we're still double. That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to get it down to it, and I'm not saying let anybody go. I'm saying you give them the number and say, hey, figure out how to make this work. Edwardsville sure does it. We're not even going to Edwardsville. We're just getting closer. And that's the only way that it forces things to get better.
Let's see if we get
I guess I'm also
next couple.
confused too, is how Edwardsville gets it was,
There's a difference between residential
and
and commercial
Jarvis
property
only
too,
had 7,000,
and
and
the
they got 3
assessment
employees.
makes a big difference.
7,000, well, I'm not on the Jarvis.
No, I know, but I'm
Right.
just saying, that's confusing also.
Well, they,
When
like,
you got all these that pretty much match, they're 3, Jarvis is 3. and
but like
they
I said,
got under half of,
what she said in our conversation and on the email, they work hard. They do,
well, I'm sure our girls work hard.
I'm not saying they don't, I'm just saying that they managed to do it with 3. That's all they.
Let's move on to Okay, going on to the bids for the senior center, and for the township office. Randy?
On November 14th, we opened bids for improvements here at the senior center in the township building. We had 8 bidders. The low bid was WWCS out of Bethalto at a price of $297,276. That's approximately $33,000 less than the estimate. Scope of work items at the township building were some security items, some roof repair and a roof coating. Work here, floor replacement, couple of doors replaced, new lighting, new ceilings, sound system, projectors, Upon approval, we'll put together a contract, between, the township and the contractor. It'll be an AIA document. We'll send that out for signature. We will hold a construction meeting, and we'll start setting up a schedule for the improvements. I think we're probably looking at sometime after the first of the year for a start.
Okay. Some of the things that we did, that we actually looked at, the roof's been replaced on this building. The roof is I believe the original roof on the office building. It qualifies for a coating instead of a total replacement, which saves us probably about 60%. It's only about 40% the cost of the new roof. One of the other things we're putting in up there, like you said, for safety and egress, we're putting in like a window for people to come in. Also an egress door from the back side of the office. Right now there's only one way in and one way out, really, into the assessor's office. There'd be another way to get out. The lights, where these lights are 6 or 7 years old, they said the cost of the lights, I think, or the price they estimated was $21,000 for just the fixtures. That we're gonna get new ceiling tiles and grids. We're already paying the labor to take these down and put them back up. They said we would save that we'd get payback within 2 years on putting new lights in. Well, my thought process is if we can save $10,000 a year on our power bill, that's gonna continue on. So that's, you know, we're already gonna replace this grid and these ceiling tiles. We're replacing the entire floor. They're also gonna level out some floor on the other side over there. There's a little bit from the additions where the concrete's not
Is all
level.
this in the,
It's all in the bids, yeah.
in painting as well?
They're gonna paint all the walls, all the door frames.
Who's choosing like the flooring and the color?
The color?
And all that?
I think
We'll
we'll do
put
everything in
together-
bright purple.
We'll put together a color board.
kidding.
Yeah, just something modern
Oh,
looking.
I know, I think maybe we can bring that to one of the meetings or something. I mean, I don't know if you want me picking out colors, but.
That's usually done with a few key people, and it'd be best to look at that. But we'll pick out a nice palette of colors. It's what we do.
I told you my story about the police station, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Our manager, clerk, what other job titles do you have? Anyway, she mentioned that the roof is leaking in the back in the kitchen.
At the office?
Is this insured or under
Here?
warranty?
No, not here.
Oh, the one
not-
down there?
Oh, in our
The
office.
one we're bidding to fix.
Well, we
Okay.
need to get that, addressed quickly then, because
Hallway side.
we damage
Hallway
more
side.
insulation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to have wet insulation. 'Cause
Well, I'm
that's
sure
one.
it already is, I mean,
Well,
because it's coming through the ceiling tile, that's the only reason I know, because
Well, we
we
may
have
have to
our
address
audit.
that.
Perfect timing.
Right, and so, and this money will be coming out of the general fund, or, okay. And we have money there, so.
2.4 times.
Yep, 2.4 times, we'll be all right.
Oh, yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Is this work being done, is this a union contract?
Absolutely, 100%. We had that conversation, because we have a project labor agreement that we have to do every year. We have no choice. Yeah.
And so on that 296, is there any other cost?
297 and some change.
Okay.
Yeah, no. The only thing that would happen if we run into some unforeseen conditions, like another roof leak, we may have to do a change order.
This one's got a 20-year warranty.
Yeah.
Is your fee in part of that, or
No,
is that a separate?
no, we had a separate company.
We already paid it, okay.
They're paid,
Yeah, okay,
and they manage the construction too, so.
perfect.
All of it.
Where are we at with the grease trap and the land?
We've
Oh,
got
not talk about that?
We've got the pipe installed. It's a matter if you purchase the property or you get the easement.
Or we go the other way?
Yeah.
We might go the other way.
Let's see.
Okay.
If somebody has time, there's still a little bit of time left to try to approach the county for some grant money for the project.
I'll write it.
I have the information at the office.
For the senior center project?
Well, it would have to be listed as far as like the lot or something that,
We'll talk.
Yeah, and I'm not real
Totally.
familiar with grants, so do you need to write ask for the money before you spend it?
yes, right, well, right
Okay,
there.
so that is key, yeah, 'cause there's gonna be some available.
There's two other things we need, the grease trap we have to address, but the one we need to put in, it needs to go on the side of the building, so we need to have an easement to go on
Okay.
onto that property. The other thing is the HVAC, probably next spring we're gonna have to address that, because the main unit out there in the building, there's a large and a small compressor, the small compressor is shorted out. We did not replace that, because it was September when we found it was out, it's been out for a while apparently, but we didn't address it, we
Okay.
limped by the rest of the summer. But we were cool enough after they
Yeah.
rigged it up, right?
Yeah, it's been really very comfortable.
Okay. So, but that's the only other two things. Once this project's done, HVAC and that grease trap, this place should be pretty good.
Oh, it's gonna look fresh?
It's gonna, except,
Yeah. Okay. Appreciate it.
I won't mention that three-letter word on the other side, so.
Moving on.
Whoa. We have to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I make a motion.
Hold on, we're actually voting on the,
On the
To award the
contract.
bid.
oh,
Bid awarded.
because again, I don't want to, there's some grant money that's a possibility out there. I don't want to, that's not gonna inhibit us from.
No, we
No,
haven't
no,
written
no,
checks.
that has
What
nothing
work
to
will
do
start
with
the first of the year, we're not writing any checks, so.
Okay,
This won't work
And this
with it.
grant money's available like in December, we'll probably know
Okay.
before the work even starts.
just wanna make sure.
Okay. Motion to approve the,
We have a
contract
motion.
with WBCC, correct, Randy?
WWCS.
Okay, something else.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Got a second?
Yes,
Second. Any questions? None, roll call.
trustee Cox,
Yes.
trustee Foley,
Aye.
trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
trustee Royer,
Yes.
supervisor Allen.
Yes.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, thanks for waiting.
I hope you learned something tonight by sitting during this meeting.
Moving on to the insurance, we have, only two insurance men tonight, is that right? Okay. Mr. Bumpy and Mr. Redmond, you guys, who wants to speak first?
I'll defer to Ron.
Yeah, well, Ron is on the
Well,
agenda
it's-
first.
Ron's on the agenda first.
To be honest, they shouldn't be both in the same room at the same time.
I was just gonna ask that, yeah.
Why?
I mean, that's
Do you-
only fair.
We can't exclude you. We
Yep.
can't, no, we can't exclude you.
Oh,
Point of order. We can't exclude anybody.
No, we have done it before, Dan, that just common courtesy, correct, Mr.
Yeah, most
Duffy, correct,
townships-
Mr. Redmond?
And I've gone to a lot of the township meetings, over 150 that I have covered under the program. And, the two agents are not in the room at the same time.
That's right.
None of them are this entertaining.
And both of you agree to that? Mr. Redmond, you agree to? Okay.
They don't care, they're good.
It's up to you guys.
You know what?
That's fine with us.
Yeah,
Whatever you guys want to do.
open meetings there, we can't exclude anybody, so that's.
Okay,
We'll step out.
thank you, guys.
Yes, it is.
Thank you all for waiting so long.
Dan, you're right. I know I'm right.
Okay, I'm Ron
Sorry.
Poppy, and I'm the marketing rep for Township Officials of Illinois Risk Management
Okay.
Association. And I cover a 10-county area, and my job is to help townships get into the program. It's a self-insured risk management program where if you come into the program, you will share risk with 1,385 other townships that are in the program already out of 1,422 possible. So most of the townships have come into the program. This is the fourth time in the 31 years that the program's been going that I've been representing them. I've been here and trying to explain your program and what it covers. If you'd have came in the last time I was here, 5 years ago, and we were the low bidder then, but we didn't get the coverage, and we have more coverage, and you would have gotten a check last March for $20,000, because we've been paying a dividend every year of 15%. We're not
So
an
when was
insurance
that, 5
company.
years ago, if they would've went with you?
Yes. Okay, so anyway, I have a pass out here for you. This is just a summary of coverages.
Yeah, I need one.
Terry, you have this, don't you? You got a letter from us originally?
Yeah, I don't know if I have it here.
This is for the property and liability.
Okay, that we spent 22,150.
this wasn't done the last time, and I thought it would be important that we do it this time, because I don't think the previous board members really understood the program and
Imagine that.
how it works. Because we wouldn't have 1,385 townships out of a possible 1422 in the program. You
And so
know,
we're one of the
you're one of the
2%.
Yeah.
Quick question,
Yeah.
not to interrupt. We use Redmond now, is that what we're using now?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just making, I want to get my.
Right,
I wanna get my thoughts
right, I
clear.
wanna understand it all.
What was the question?
We're using the other guy, Redmond now, the one we threw out here, you know,
Okay, go ahead.
Well, anyway, the quote that we gave you, and I have another copy of it there, and this is the detail of it, of what we're all covering. This was information gathered from a survey of your current coverages, and we have a quote here of $159,000. I gave you my copy there, Terry.
Okay, I'm sorry, here. You stay with your mic, because we.
Of $159,061 a year.
This includes road and bridge and town.
This is everything. And I will go over that in just a minute. I'm gonna go briefly. It covers your building and contents on an all-risk basis.
Hey, guys, hang on.
Okay? It covers your general liability, and the big difference that we are from what you have now and what's available in the commercial insurance market is that our policy, or our coverage document,
Yeah.
is an occurrence basis. So we've quoted you $10 million worth of liability for your general liability, your public officials liability, and your auto liability, and that's per occurrence. It's not aggregate. I think currently now you have a $1 million aggregate policy and with a $5 million umbrella. So
This
we
is a better policy.
we would cover up to $10 million for each and every claim.
But I'm just gonna ask straight up so I can understand it. Right now, it looks like we spent $115,000 last year with the road, because yours was 90, and the town was 22. So the point is, you're asking for 160, 150, where's
Right, 159.
So that would be an increase, but you're saying that the policy's better. Is that what
Yes.
we're talking about?
Yes. I'm not saying it should be that much difference, but that's what it is.
Yes.
The insurance market right now is going down, you know, and, but we insure nothing but, or we cover nothing but townships.
Can you explain to me why I would vote to go with yours if yours is $30,000 more, so I can understand it?
Other than you would have broader liability, $10 million per claim, each and every claim. That's
Yeah,
one of the things.
I understand.
There's also some other coverages like towing for $750 on your vehicles, but, you know, that's a big difference, and I understand that. I'm just doing my job.
I agree.
As members of TOI, you have a right to get a quote,
Yeah.
and we've quoted you 4 times.
Okay.
You know, and so, it would be 5 years before, if you came with us, before you'd get the dividend.
I see.
But they
You have
have
to
paid a
decide
dividend every year.
Yes.
One second,
Well,
Well, that's okay.
Well,
I just
go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to ask the question, I wondered, are you similar to what risk management is to communities in the state of Illinois? It's a pool insurance,
Same people run it.
same people run
Okay,
it.
management services out of Danville, Illinois, if you're talking about the Illinois Municipal Leagues program.
That's what I'm talking about, risk
Right.
management.
But that's a different program, but it's run by the same, when I say run
So
by, I mean,
you're a pool insurance account with other township governments,
we're a risk management association where you're sharing risk. Yes,
as a pool.
right, and we buy reinsurance.
I got you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
Yes.
sorry, Terry, I just.
No, that was good.
I was
And-
wanting
and
to try to
it-
make
and
sure I
I-
understood what,
Yeah, and when you do share risk with the other townships, it is possible that there could be an assessment, although we've been in business for 31 years, and there hasn't been, so.
I think 5 years ago when you were here and stuff like that, I believe I asked a question on that. To receive the dividend after that period of time in that? How many claims did he have?
Your claims would have nothing to do with it, other than the overall picture. We don't underwrite or declare a dividend based upon an individual township. It's what the experience, it's after, we wait 5 years until we close our claims, and, we know what we took in that year and what we were obligated to pay out, and, you know.
Okay.
um,
Well, I appreciate you.
I mean, I agree with you. I'm not in a very good position when you've got that kind of a savings now at you know what I
Sounds
mean?
like the savings come in after the 5 years that you could possibly get that dividend money back, is
Yeah,
what it sounds like.
you do get it back, but, if nothing else,
That makes it
by
pretty
us
tough.
quoting it every time, we,
let's
at
see what
least
comes in
keep
there.
your current agent, honest, and you're getting,
That's right. That's right.
when they know there's competition out there. I mean, I've been in the business for over 50 years.
I can't believe you gave us a quote for 80,000. That is great for
I didn't-
everything. Come on in, guys. All right.
So anyway, I don't think there's any sense, unless you have questions for me really to go in any more
Where did you
detail.
come up with these numbers at on the buildings?
I'm sorry,
Where
what?
did these numbers come up at on the buildings? Like you got $660,000
Okay,
on our
what-
buildings, on the main office? I don't know if we could build it for less than $1 million probably.
Okay, these came from your figures of 5 years ago when we quoted you, and we increased it by 10%
Okay,
for inflation.
all right.
So that's where the building figures come from. Everything else was furnished to us, but the buildings, values were not. And that was kinda unfair, really. I don't know why you just do that. I have 150 townships insured, and, you know, to make it fair, everybody should be bidding on the same amount on each building. And you have that information, and you've given it to us in the past, but this time, I know what Terry said it was, they weren't doing that they were, he said to keep it fair, we have to all do our own appraisal. So, and that'll give you 2 or 3 different answers.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a question. Where's 1115 Darby Lane?
That's a township house, we own that, Road and Bridge does. That's
Okay.
gonna be part of the Lebanon Road project.
Okay. Thank you. We're paying for we're insuring one, I just wanna know why we're insuring.
Yeah. Well, it's rented out, we've had it rented out since we purchased it.
I just asked where it was.
Yeah.
Where it's
You
at.
guess that money comes into the general fund?
Kind of that new highway or whatever, wasn't it?
I don't think I've ever saw that.
New bridge, yeah.
Learning something new every day. As long as you're not like collecting the rents or something, okay.
You guys are running way over, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity again this year, to give you a quote.
Thank you for your
And,
time.
you're welcome.
We thank you for
Like
coming
I
down.
said,
Sorry to
since
make
you're a
you
member
wait.
of TOI, you're entitled to receive
Yep,
this
sorry
quote. I'm sorry they took
sorry
a
we
better
made
price.
you wait.
I wanted to explain that we've kept our premium level through the 31 years of what we charge townships. And, that, you know, that's a lot. When in '86, when the Risk Management Association was started, it was started by George Miller, the executive director of TOI. It was because townships couldn't get insurance at that time, and it was sky high. I mean, there was a time the township here was paying $190,000
Right, no, we're not.
a year, you know?
No,
And, so,
we appreciate your
Appreciate your
attention.
bid.
yeah.
All right.
All right,
man.
thank
See
you.
ya. Have a good holiday.
You guys have a happy holiday, too.
Drive careful.
I will.
Mr. Redmond?
Hey, Terry, just want to tell you something personal real quick. Sherry Young doesn't do it.
I know. Yeah, you tell me what.
I knew this was gonna be a long one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Can you give them my thing?
No, I got no worry about it. There you go.
Sorry you guys had to wait so long.
Oh, that was great. Sure you learned
What a
something.
huge difference. Always do.
Yeah, no, saving money.
All right. First of all, my name is Kai Redmond, Redmond Insurance Agency, a local agent here in Collinsville. Been with the township, had the township business for 8 years. With me tonight is Jeff Weber. Jeff Weber is with ICRMT, or the market that we have you through, the insurance market that we have you through. So he's here, I'm your local representative, your local agent, serves you locally, and he's with the program that we have you through, okay? First of all, let me say my sincere appreciation for your business for the last 8 years. It's deeply appreciated. Hopefully, I think Larry and Kathy are sitting here tonight, and just my posture has been and continues to be and always will be, it's we better step and fetch to continue to earn your business. We had that the night we earned it, and I've had that same posture every time, so don't take it for granted, okay? What you have in front of you is a proposal I'm going to go through here briefly. Stop me with questions, and also with questions that Ron had presented to you. And Ron did the business a number of years ago, and so got to know Ron at that time. So and he's posed some different options for you, I think, so be happy to address those questions or concerns that you might have, okay? First of all, go ahead and open your second page, open to the second page. I'll just lay it on the line as far as premium. And I circled the key points on every page so you don't have to sift through a lot of the details in each page. Your renewal premium is $92,844, okay?
And that's for road, bridge, and town.
That's correct, that's everything. If you look to the left of that number, you're going to see two variables. One is workers' compensation, and the other is all other insurance, property liability, we call that the package, okay? So you can see the premium next to each. Those two added up are a combined $92,844. What I've done for you here is total premium since we've earned the business, because if I'm you and I'm sitting in your shoes, I'm like, well, what has it been historically? So you can see the first year we earned it, it's $128,398. And then what it is each year after that. You saw a slight tick up. I don't set pricing. The market sets pricing. What I do is when we get the renewals back, I push back on them if I deem it unreasonable. And I have pushed back on them.
That puts it mildly.
Yeah.
He works hard for you folks.
Get some heated emails. I keep the pencil sharp for you.
Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I'm your advocate.
He works
he's
hard for you guys.
He's more, I'm your local advocate, but I ensure the pencil's kept sharp. So the point, as you can see, and definitely the last few years, it goes from 136 to 124 to 113 down to 92,000, okay? So that pencil's sharp and remains sharp, okay? Any questions on that? Okay? My comment on that is with respect to pricing is refund of premium, things of that nature. Any dividends, I know Farm has a dividend. My posture, my position is to give you your best premium up front, okay? Not refund premium after the fact. It's kind of like, well, anyway, you get the point.
Yeah, we talked about it, yeah.
Okay. I apologize, I didn't say good evening to you all as well, so I'm sorry. I apologize. Some quick facts about ICRMT, Illinois County's Risk Management Trust. Again, the market we have you through. When I pursued the business, I did not want to earn your business. I'm local, and I did not want to have you through a market that was not comprehensive in scope with regard to coverages. I have to drive through town all day long, and if you do not have the correct coverage of the right type, it reflects on me and my credibility. And so I went after this market to insure you through, because they're the leader in the state of Illinois with respect to coverages. The second underlying paragraph has that, the broadest coverages. The second line says in the service package, okay, and that's the services that they offer. So some quick facts about ICRMT. They have 333 members in the state of Illinois. They have a 98% retention rate. That means people don't leave them most of the time when they're with them, okay? And then, again, Torma did it a number of years ago, and I felt like I came to the table with much more comprehensive coverage than they're able to offer, okay? Communities, local communities with them now. I'm not going to outline townships because they have a number of townships insured in the state of Illinois. City of Belleville, City of Troy, O'Fallon, as well as others. And I'm just throwing out a number. So they have large entities and very small entities. They run the scale. Next page. Why insure with ICRMT? You can see the column. It says the coverage. You can see going down, list those items, ICRMT versus Torma. Yes versus no. I'll just going down under coverage to the third item, local agent representation. That's definitely us, okay? You need something, we drive right up to the township, we're there, okay? Free, legal consultation, there is free legal consultation. You need legal assistance, I know you have that, but if you need something specific to insurance, there's no charge for that, they have that, it's readily available. Free training and seminars, that's the next two items down from there. I know you've attended a number of training and seminars to help you with what you do specific to insurance. The next is deadly weapon response coverage, that's a new coverage they've offered. The next, professional property appraisals, all your property is assessed to make sure we have the right limits. Okay, that's very important. And they have a third party that's free of charge that does that. The next is cyber liability coverage, I'll get into that. I forgot, if you can turn to the prior page, turn back one page. I stuck this in, it says Redmond Insurance Agency at the bottom of the page. For your local agents since 2010 for the township, the third bullet is perceived. I put that in, perceived superior service for the township. I hope that's the case, because I told you my posture is we get a call, we respond. Agent's office staff is responsive to the township personnel. Terry gave me a call when there was hail, threw a ladder in the back of my truck, jumped up on the roof to take a look at it, just to help you all out. So, to say yes.
Within an hour.
So, do you see damage, maybe you should turn it in, or no, I don't see damage. This place had hail, okay? And then premiums aggressively managed and reduced since 2010, okay? Keeping the pencil sharp. Sorry, I missed that page. If you can turn 2 pages back, or keep on going 2 pages. It says ICRMT features and benefits. It's just basically, this is just verbiage saying how comprehensive the market is that we put you through, okay? The next page, who's an insured? You have that page?
Mm-hmm.
Very broad in scope. You can see the bullets, and I've listed, it says, the second is a volunteer, unpaid worker. All your volunteers are included. It's very broad in as far as who's an insured. Third, a board member, commissioner, trustee, or council person. You all are covered, okay? So there's no question there, okay? And the next is elected or appointed officials, or a member of your governing body, etc. Okay? Next page. I'm just gonna, this can get really boring.
Yeah.
What about people that come here, like, throughout the day, people that come into our office? Where are they recognized?
That's under your general liability, so work comp covers for employee injuries.
Right.
Yes, and you all are covered under the work comp as well during your duties. But as far as a member of the general public, once they step on any property associated with the township and they allege or sustain a bodily injury, then that's under the general liability.
But we're only aggregate $3 million per occurrence?
And then you have
Or is that aggregate for each incident?
No, for each incident you have $1 million. And then you have an excess after that of 5.
So we're only covered for essentially $8 million?
You're covered as a limit up to 6.
How much would it, I know, you won't know it off the top of your head, but how much would it cost to make that to 10?
You can increase that to 10.
I mean, would it be drastically different than the opening bid that you?
No.
Actually, I do know that.
Okay.
You folks are keep in mind though, you're $6 million, and Kyle will get into this, but that's per line of coverage, okay? Some people will give you 10, but they combine that with GL and auto and different things. You have $6 million per occurrence, per claim for your GL, $6 million for your auto with no aggregate, $6 million for your public officials, employment practice covering the board, things like that. So if you add all this together, you actually have $18 million, okay?
Right, but that would have to, all the things would have to happen.
Correct, but if you're looking at it like that, so,
Right.
but to go to 10 million, a ballpark of that is probably gonna be around 1,500.
What's your thought process of that low overall coverage for a guy who sues people?
Yeah. I just know when I up mine to $1 million on my property, each property, $1 million, it's not much.
It's
Is
not
the
much.
point.
To go to 10, like I said, for 10 million, it
$1,500
would cost you around $1,500. It wouldn't be any more than 1,500.
So the 10 would be on the aggregate?
No, 10 would, that would be, you wanna switch to the excess real quick so they can see that page?
I look at the general liability, that's my question.
You would have, if you had 10 million, then you would have 11 million per occurrence, 13 million aggregate. I would say the majority of townships
for people in our memberships are an excess between 5 and 10.
So we're on the low, we're at 3.
You
No,
are,
we're at 6.
you're right at where majority of people
Yeah.
are.
We have a whole lot more going on.
Sure, we can increase you to 10.
Yeah, and again, that's 15, ballpark, or you think it's
No
exactly
more than 15.
Okay,
No more than
100,
When
Think
we
of
did,
how much surplus we have.
right.
You know how much they
Well, no, they would be charging more, but go ahead.
when we wrote this, your prior agent had it at that, and we matched that, and it was felt at that time, which I concurred is based on the township of this size and your exposures, everybody felt comfortable with that.
You know, I mean, the car runs through the building uninsured, hurts or you know.
If it's only $1,500, I'd
Bad
say
things
raise it
happen in
10.
the world today, and not a lot of people have insurance, and we should have it. I mean, if they have it, great. If they don't, we need to make sure we're covered.
We can do that.
We won't be 2.5 times nothing.
Okay.
Sure. All right. So you have your general liability. You see the second item, so it's $1 million per occurrence, and you have your excess over there. We'll get to that. You have $3 million aggregate. You see sexual abuse liability coverage. I'm not so sure that that's offered by other markets or bids. Okay. No. Okay. So you have 100,000 in there per occurrence. The real key there is if that were alleged in any capacity. Okay. That's a lot of times, and that's the same scenario. Alleged or actual. Okay. Then you need to turn in the claim, and that's where you have coverage for that. Okay. Next is your auto liability and physical damage. You have an occurrence circled at each occurrence at $1 million, and your excess above that. We'll get into that. You have an uninsured, and underinsured sitting at $1 million, which we had that when we initially wrote it. I circled auto physical damage, comprehensive and collision. Those are your two physical damage coverages. We have total scheduled vehicle value of $1,450,897, meaning the total value of vehicles, and the number of vehicles are 18. Your comp and collision deductibles are sitting at $1,000, and definitely that's the lowest they have, and I wouldn't suggest you going any more for this type of event to be lower than that.
That's just for auto liability, right, Kai? That's all? What, I'm gonna get Jack's feeling on that. Are those good numbers, or you think those are on the low side, or what's your gut feeling?
I think that is, those are actually pretty good numbers.
Actually.
I think those are actually reasonably good
Okay.
numbers. I think, you know, from a practitioner, from my unique perspective, $1 million coverage on an auto claim is, that's pretty good.
All right.
For any additional above there, that's the max of the top.
Right.
Any additional, then that goes into the excess. Okay. Next page is your public officials liability. If you want a definition of what that is, I put that for you at the bottom of the page. Okay? And then under the public officials liability, I've circled 3 items. There's employment practices liability, employee benefits liability. Employment practices, someone alleges that they were hired or fired, and they deemed they were not fairly hired or fired in respect, then you have no coverage for that. Employee benefits is the same. If you fail to cover an employee for benefit purposes, and there's a claim, there's employee benefits. And then there's a deductible under there. And I indicated Tormis is potentially much higher on the deductible. Okay? So I don't know what theirs is, but they have the potential, definitely. Jeff has more knowledge than this against that market.
Based on your population, that could be between $20,000 and $60,000, because they do it by population.
Deductible.
Okay. Deductible.
Yeah.
So I made the note, if coverage is included, you can just say it's very comprehensive. I'm not going to sit here and bore you with everything. It's the scope of coverage they offer to their public officials is very comprehensive. Okay? Next page is your cyber liability. What is cyber liability? I gave you a definition below. Okay? Basically, if there's a data breach, automatically comes with $50,000 in the policy. So the premium you see in front of you, talking with Vicki, she came back and we had a discussion and said, we need to probably increase that, the suggestion. And we talked about that, and we took that up to $1 million for you. Okay?
And
So I think that was a good suggestion.
And this is something that most of our competitors are not including in their program. So really no one else has this.
Well, with everything online and how it is, we have to have some kind of protection.
I think you obtained your information on cyber liability when you went to a free seminar that was provided
IPMG, ICRT,
There you go. Okay?
yeah.
Just trying to leverage my position here to keep earning your business. All right. Next page, deadly weapons response. This is obviously prevalent now, but if that should happen and involves the township in any capacity, there is coverage, $500,000 of coverage, okay? You can see what the coverage includes there, as well as you read on down, okay?
And if I can, Kai, so the 500,000 is just under this coverage. You do have your full liability limits if you get sued for a deadly shooter or an active shooter.
Okay, so then we have the
Then
six
you
right
have
now.
the 6 million above that.
But we're thinking 10.
But then there's some things below that you automatically get. You get counseling service, you get PR service, you get
Okay.
funeral expenses. You get extra expense if you're not able to go back into that building, then we'll pay to go rent someplace else until you feel comfortable going back into the building. Because that won't be covered under your property coverages. And again, this is a new coverage this year that we are not charging for. We're all about providing extra coverages when we can, and this is something that sometimes we have to charge, sometimes we don't. The cyber was an extra premium, but this is not. This is something that we're automatically providing to all our members.
Great.
Okay, the next page is your excess liability. Okay, and that's where it gets into the excess, and I circled there. It sits over and above the general liability, your auto liability, and the public officials liability. You see that, how it goes over, and then it's $5 million. And that's what Jeff addressed prior, if you want to increase that one, okay?
That's what we're gonna take to 10 possibly?
Yeah, we have other entities insured that are larger, and I'm not trying to sound,
Yeah, no.
but they're not sitting at 10 million. They've made a decision with their legal staff, some sit around 7. So if you ask me, if you have as much liability as you can garner, that's great. I'm just saying you weigh some of those things. I just didn't want you to think that prior you were underinsured.
No, we weren't, yeah.
Decision, so, okay. All right, next page, property. I circled for you, it's a blanket limit of insurance is how this works, so that's very good, it's comprehensive and scopes of a blanket. But based on the professional property or building evaluations that came out and performed, ICRMT did, building values total, you can see the limit right there. Down below there, business personal property, including stationary items and electronic data processing, anyway. All the items inside the buildings, that's the limit of coverage you have, okay? You're sitting at a 1,000 deductible. You go down, you have earthquake, and that does include mine subsides, the 2 coverages, okay? And then the program aggregate, you can see, is with ICRMT, the total amount they have coverage is $250 million. Torm, I believe, is sitting at $5 million, okay? And I don't want to misrepresent Torment. That's deferring to Jeff and his experience as he sits in a lot of these meetings. Okay, so their limit is a lot lower. Reading down the next item, they do have flood coverage in the program. And then the next item, it says covered costs and expenses. I just made the note, comprehensive coverage and high limits, and I made that arrow point. That's all that is saying. Okay? Next page. It's basically, the next page is, I just circled this. If there's any unaddressed locations, usually these large entities, there's automatically $1 million in coverage. It should not happen for you all. Going on down the page, you have sewer and drain backup at $250,000. That should far exceed any limits you need. You can see it's comprehensive in scope. And these are all the outdoor property items that are automatically included in the policy. Next page, property. The only thing I made the comment is you have high coverage limits and all these increased limits. It's the only thing I wanted to address right there. Some of these don't apply. Of course, golf course, tees and greens, you don't have that. I know that doesn't apply to you.
How do you know? We had a house I didn't know about.
As far as I know, I haven't been told lately.
I know.
Don't scare me.
There might be one out there.
All right. All right, next page is mobile equipment. So you think about, we went through all the vehicles, that's all, everything's licensed for the road. This is the non-licensed equipment. Larry, this is where you come into play with all your mobile equipment. We initially wrote the program, we spent a lot of time with Kathy and Larry going through to make sure, we spent days going through and making sure we had every vehicle as well as every piece of equipment covered and the proper limits on that, okay?
Is that like his backhoes and his trailers? Okay.
Yeah, you got it. You can see it's circled, it's mobile equipment. All of your equipment, Larry, that's greater than 10,000 per item, and then that's the total amount of everything. We've got it all scheduled and listed. And the next item is mobile equipment that's less than 10,000 items. So what that means, if you think a big pile and you throw all the weed eaters, and everything is a piece of equipment that's less than 10,000 per item, so then we have all that covered as well. It's two stages, if you will.
Excuse me, did you know about that property behind Rural King
Yes,
that we own?
yes,
Good.
yes,
Just wanna make sure it's a sleeper down there.
yes. So, it's automatically covered under liability.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. The deductible sitting at 1,000 for equipment. Anyway, next page, equipment breakdown, that's not, really not pertinent to you all as much, okay? Next page is crime. As you can see my handwritten note, the second bullet item, what is crime? Crime coverage ensures against dishonest acts of employees. You see that? Okay. Right above there, bond coverage is automatically included in this as well, okay? So look down at my underlined comment at the bottom of the page or the middle of the page. It says, ICRT crime form includes coverage for any of your officials who are required by law to give bonds for the faithful performance of their service against loss. So you don't have to take out an extra bond for every individual. We've got it all covered here. They're used to doing it. That's how they do it. All employees are covered, as well as everybody here, okay? Okay, we're getting to the end, folks. Next page is work comp, workers' compensation. I circled your employer's liability limits, 2.5 million. I believe performance limits on there are much lower than that, okay? And then the next page is the last page. This is your work comp, and folks, this is how your premium is determined. So you can see the premium based in the very bottom of the page, the circle is 48,904. You see that? Okay. They've made significant pricing concessions, so they've kept their pencil sharp for you, and us pushing on them. So you can see the premium is 81,118. You see that under the premium?
Yeah.
Under manual premium? But then you look all the way down and look at the pricing concessions. You historically have had good workers' comp. You've been profitable for them, so they can keep their pencil sharp, okay? So do you see the codes, and you see the street and road, and the payroll next to it? You see those?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, every year, that's an auditable figure. So the key in this is, these numbers, payroll numbers, reflect your audit from last year, plus a 2% increase. So these payroll numbers are accurate, or close to accurate for this year. So when you get audited for this year, you don't owe a bunch of money. Okay? That's what's key, because if I came in and gave you a bid, and my payroll numbers were a lot lower, guess what? My premium would be lower. But my point is, these payroll numbers are accurate, and they want to be close, so when you get audited each year, which you do, these are projected with a 2% increase built into it, and it should be close, so next year you don't owe a bunch of money.
So
that's what happens if the payrolls are too low.
what is then the total premium? Is it the 92 or the 81?
No, all the way down, Derek, at the 48,904. See that? I circled that?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just comp.
Just
Okay,
work comp.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
And that goes back to that second page when I showed the buys, work comp was
Right.
one and everything else was another and together.
Okay.
Okay? And then I have broken out, to say, you know, who's under this code or that code, I won't bore you with it, but we have all that, okay? So anyway, questions, concerns on other bids?
So, are you guys a pool, are you guys just a company?
No, we're a trust or a pool, so all we do is handle governmental bodies in the state of
You're not
Illinois.
affiliated with IML, are you?
No, so we are specialized, all we do is insure governmental bodies, so townships, cities, counties, water districts. This is all we do,
Okay.
so we're very specialized in that.
I thought I saw it in there, that's why I
That's
kept
how you
going back
keep the
through it.
rates low probably too.
Because we diversify the risk, so we just don't do townships, because if something happens where all of a sudden townships start getting
Right.
losses, we have the other entities to make up for those losses to even out our premium.
Did I kind of feel it right that we just wanted, the only change that maybe we wanted was the 10 million?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Liquor coverage, did I see that in there?
Yeah.
What page did I see that?
Well, good eye, because that's something that we do that most of our competition doesn't. So we actually give you full liquor liability.
Liquor liability. It's
Not that
under
you're doing.
general liability.
Yeah. so
No,
if
I
you-
mean, this center,
Right, So at this center, someone's coming in and providing liquor or even having a fundraiser,
Yeah.
you need liquor liability, not host liquor. Because even if you're not the ones doing it,
Right.
you can get brought into a lawsuit. And I know Torma doesn't have liquor liability, we do, so you will be covered when that lawsuit
Are you
comes.
saying then, potentially, if we rented out the facility and they could bring in their liquor, then that would be covered?
Not them, the township.
The township would have to would have to bring in the...
No, no, no. We would cover the
Right,
township.
right.
We wouldn't cover the individuals bringing it in. Unless-
Let's say we had Derek's bash.
Right, whatever.
Derek
I want to
rented
bring
the
in my
hall.
own alcohol.
You got it. Derek had a bash and was giving out alcohol.
He
rents the building.
Right.
Right, correct. You need a special event policy suggested, and in that special event, you would have liquor liability for you. Then the township has their own liquor liability if they're brought into it.
Okay, so for us to rent it out, to allow them to do that, we would need them to provide their insurance.
Yes, and
And we don't allow any booze.
No, I know,
Yeah.
we don't right now.
But, I've got other public entities insured, and this happens all the time. They've got public centers and.
Right, no, I
They
mean,
rent
I
them
just
out.
did a wedding down in Caseyville at their village hall, and they make revenue off of that, off of weddings and receptions and
The
stuff.
key is the VFWs and stuff, they have their own liquor liability because they're giving out, they're dispensing. That's why they say you cannot or should not let people bring in alcohol. We control that.
Right.
The dram shop
Okay.
only covers their alcohol,
That's it.
not the alcohol brought in.
That's correct.
For instance, we have a trivia night here Saturday night. Somebody brings alcohol in here, wrong person gets their hands on it, something happens, are we covered?
You're covered, correct.
Right.
The
They
township
don't
is
allow
covered.
it by
Not the
rule.
individual, unless they're employees, but you're covered.
The township's covered, not the entity that hosts the event or anything like that. They're not covered under your.
Right, well, I understand that, yeah, we're not insuring them other people,
Right.
I'm just asking the question, I just wanna know, because I'm not wanting to start having it, but I just.
If you're gonna have any festivals, anything like that, we have to know.
Okay.
We've got other, again,
Right.
public entities insured, and they have to give us a list. We're having a big homecoming, we've got them insured under all this, but they have to give us a heads up, so we have an itemized list, and every year we go through, we like, okay, you having this, is this new,
Yeah.
is this?
But
So
it's automatically covered,
We don't like
charge.
the trivia night, when we rent the hall out though,
No, that's not.
only if there's alcohol involved, you're saying you want us to notify you.
No, I was talking about like festivals and things like that.
Like the senior prom or something.
Okay.
No.
We need to notify you of events here,
No, no, no.
or we're talking two different things?
Yeah, we're talking two different things. I'm using like, Village of Maryville has their homecoming. That's a big staged event,
Right.
and that's a festival.
We don't have anything like that. I mean, we have events here, like, not in here,
Well,
not, but that's,
that's a good example though. I mean, that's a good
yeah,
example.
but that's, the chamber. Yeah.
It would be more like if this was your 200th celebration anniversary, so you're gonna have one big bash for
Yeah,
that.
so pretty
That's a
much-
special event, that would automatically be covered. We just want you to try to let you know.
We're pretty boring, in other words.
Or the teams win state and the township was gonna have a parade for them or something.
But we won't, I mean, the city would host that with fire trucks and things, I don't think we.
We've rented out.
So when do
the
we
hall
need
before
to,
that.
when would you like to, when is the policy, is there like a...
December 1st.
December the 1st, and is it a yearly thing, or is this a contract for 5 years, or how does this work?
It's yearly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's yearly. So bottom line is you vote on it, and then I have one page that Terry has to sign,
Okay.
and that's it. So,
Okay.
okay.
Sounds good. I really appreciate you coming in. I know
Every year, we meet, we go through that, and I always offer, I say, if you want me to present to the board, I'd be happy to do that. And in any other time a board member would like to speak to me personally, individually, in any capacity, I'd be happy to do that. So I just-
And not to draw this out anymore, but you had mentioned maybe possibly trying to get a grant for the roofs.
Well-
Sometimes they need appraisals, and we have done 3 professional property appraisals, and a lot of times you can use that appraisal for your grant.
Well, I
Just
mean,
to let you
we
know.
have, this roof is leaking, about 6-8 months ago, we have a whole bunch of
Yeah.
ceiling tiles that got damaged. Is that kind of stuff covered?
That probably would not, because it's probably leakage.
Just like your homeowners, if you have if something has to cause damage, like a tree limb falls on it, hail hitting it,
Or your leaking roof isn't covered?
Not if it's over time, no.
depends on what causes it. Yeah. Current, something has to strike it.
I'm looking for a
cause
check
damage.
can't film.
Well,
that premium goes up.
Can you explain why you come in at this time of the year, why it's done like at the end of November instead of earlier in the year?
That's the annual renewal period for the program. Is that what you're?
Right, and you don't have the figures or to actually bid.
No, we don't. These all come due. I just got my numbers from them recently, and their program renews every year on December 1st. Does that answer your question?
I would say let's make sure this is on the next agenda, that we can.
And already,
Well, your renewal's December 1.
We don't have
Nothing against.
Oh, December 1.
Yeah, well, once again,
I was thinking January 1.
not for you guys, we are giving something 4 days before the deadline. We're also giving something with 2 bids instead of 3, that was the sports kind of indicated, we'd like to have 3 bids on everything. And there's a crisis here, we have to have this approved by Saturday.
that's why I had it
I know, well, that's
explained.
wonderful that they're here, and they should be here. But there's not a third party to bid on it. Just like the phone system, we had 1 bid. Things are not being done, as we've kind of talked about. We want 3 bids on things. We're spending taxpayers' money. We need to have more than 1 or 2 bids. Nothing against you guys. You'd probably win anyway. But my point of the matter is, this isn't the only thing that this has happened on. I'm sure there's something else on the agenda we're gonna have shoved down our throat that's gonna be December 1st also.
I will say, for Vicky's purpose, she does a heck of a job, and she was.
I didn't say she didn't. I
She
just said that we're giving artificial deadlines, Kai, okay? This is the 27th of the month. It's gotta be renewed by the 1st. We should have had these numbers in November, first meeting in November to discuss this.
She notified me probably September.
And so you couldn't provide the numbers until,
I was waiting for ICMT.
Gotcha.
And he's waiting for his underwriters to process the renewals, and then you had your meetings set up. And another factor is I want to know when others are bidding that, I want to bid on the same night. And so that's a key factor of setting up the bids and coming in for that. So she did notify me.
We're gonna do sealed bids next year. That's what we'll do, not proposals, so just.
yeah, but it sounds like no matter what, he can't get that bid until,
It comes up almost right to the
But where's my
8
third
weeks
one?
out.
Everybody asked about when we went to TOI seminar, why don't we use them? They're too expensive. So,
no, I'm not saying I don't like more
this
bids,
gives the
but,
appearance that we know TOI is gonna be high. He comes in, he's low, we're done. And not saying that you have any participation in this guy, I'm not gonna let you down.
Yeah, Mike?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. I will just say, since I've been on this board, we've used Redmond Insurance Agency. We've been very pleased with them. They've done a hell of a job for us. We have a problem, Kai, or somebody in the office and stuff answers the question, bang, like that.
You calling me
Somebody
there in
on
15
site.
minutes.
You can't beat that. Plus, also, it's local.
I appreciate your comments and your feelings.
I didn't say I wasn't
respect
pleased
them.
with him, I didn't say he's a bad businessman. I'm just saying the way that we are presented information at this board, it's shoved down our throats at the last minute that we have to approve it, and we're not given 3 bids. How many times do we have to do that? You know what? The city, and I'm not saying they're angels, but the city gets 3 bids, minimum 3 bids on everything. We had 6 people bid on this building improvements. It was $297 to like almost $600,000. The brick, almost double.
Seemed like it took though a year though.
Well, it takes a long time.
I mean, and that's that's the problem though, is they can't get their numbers quick enough. I guess they go off of what happened all year long to figure out how much it is. I understand, I appreciate,
But you know what? If we would've notified a third vendor, we'd have a third price tonight. We'd have something to tell the taxpayers.
So whose job is that to notify more people to get more, you know what I'm saying, so we do it right?
I'm just the ops manager.
Right, that's true.
I'm
So,
the person
right, so
that
next
goes
year,
out for bids and,
make sure we get 3. And if you,
3 on everything.
any quicker.
well,
Even our health insurance bid had 1, the current one.
And I guess we've been so happy with this gentleman here. And you call him and 10 minutes later he's there. And I guess that's why.
I didn't say we weren't happy.
And I know
You sound like
you
you're telling me, you're counteracting what I said. It's nothing with them. It's with the procedure here that I'm high.
Okay.
Well, sounds like we need to do this again tonight. We're gonna lose insurance, so,
You want us to step out?
No.
no,
You don't
I
have
make
to
a motion
step out.
that we
No.
accept this bid.
I second.
Motion and second, any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
trustee Foley,
Aye.
trustee Hopkins,
No.
trustee Royer,
Yes.
supervisor Allen.
Yes.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you.
waiting.
I mean, no vote wasn't against you.
No, thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Miners Theater's gonna have their 100th anniversary, I don't know exactly which date that is.
Hang on, you just pay for their, I have a paper there,
Underneath here.
should be a minor theater paper in there somewhere.
Wish we allowed drinks right now. Where are we looking at here?
I'm looking for the Miners
Has a
Theater.
paper, the minor theater.
They're a 501c3, so they're doing their 100th anniversary. They wanna do a, program ad, is that what they're looking for?
Yes, they are.
Excuse me.
How much are they asking for?
Well, the whole page is like, is it $375 or something like that? I forget what.
Should be in the
Or
packet.
is it $750? Is it $750?
What's a small ad?
35, business card size.
That sounds good to me.
It's a donation.
Right.
I don't have it.
Can't see it.
Well, I think we can put it on the next agenda.
It'll be over with, I think.
Are you sure?
I think it's the end of December.
Yeah.
What are we waiting on here?
We were looking for a paper that we
Good,
didn't
good,
have,
good.
my secretary had and didn't have it.
Can't vote on anyway, right? They're not here.
Right, I mean,
Yeah, they did.
they didn't come and explain it.
100th anniversary celebrating a country planning the future. The Miners Institute
Hold on,
Foundation
hold on.
is celebrating 100 years since it first opened the theater's doors. On December 30th, 2018, the foundation will be hosting an event to bring the theater into the next century, and we would like for you to be part of this celebration. Would you join us in honoring what Miners Theater has meant to Collinsville? There are several ways we'd like for you to participate. Join us on December 30th at 1 o'clock for the celebration. Purchase an ad for our centennial program. Make a tax-deductible donation to the theater, $100 listed in the program. Gold sponsorship is $1,000. Silver sponsorship is $750. A full page is $325. Half page is $110. A quarter page is $60, and an eighth of page is $35. The back or the outside cover page is $500.
Make a motion, we do a $110 half page in the Collinsville, best wishes from the Collinsville Township, nobody's names.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Dan, are you gonna write up what you want on it?
Well,
That's pretty much said.
he doesn't want any names, he just wants to say.
Best wishes from
From
Collinsville
Collinsville
Township.
Okay.
Not from me,
Right.
Phone, Mike, anybody else.
Okay.
No names.
No names.
I'm not gonna make it a
Can I just
campaign.
say something?
Sure.
I'm just,
Sure,
and I'm not,
Ain't over.
but I
I agree.
do, I mean, you just said here,
No, I'm not.
you're mad because we didn't get 3,
Well, I don't think there's.
and now they're not here to speak about it, which you guys been against since I've been in here, and we're voting on it.
I agree.
So I'm just confused. I mean, the last time I voted on something and we didn't have somebody here, you guys were pissed, mad at me, excuse my language, mad at me, but now we're voting on something and they're not here to explain it.
I agree. I
I'm just
still want it
confused. I
in
don't know what-
writing in our, almost bylaws. We're not giving you money unless you come explain what you're doing. But, on the other thing is, what we voted, this is the minor cedar, a lot of people know about it.
I agree.
And it's $110. I think that's why we're doing it.
I love the minors.
Okay,
Sure.
there's a motion and a second.
No, I know you do.
Yeah, I seconded it.
Roll
Just to
call.
move on.
Okay,
If they would've showed up, they might've got 1,000.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Right.
trustee Cox,
No, I'm just,
trustee
yes.
Cox, trustee Foley, trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
trustee Royer,
No.
supervisor Allen. Okay, well, Dan, you're not.
And I agree with you, but on the other hand,
I
everybody.
get it, but if we're gonna do it,
everybody
we're gonna
knows
do
the
it.
show,
We need
you
it.
know?
We're gonna do it or we're not gonna do it.
I say we do it from now on.
You have that,
say.
okay,
The ones that we didn't, that we weren't willing to hear,
we're at the
didn't
pest
know nothing
control.
about. Like the Legion, we knew was that.
Pest
was
control
real.
bids.
Okay, this isn't gonna be for me.
Hey, wait a minute, settle down.
Okay, this is for the.
Hold on, wait, we're discussing this still.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know we were.
Oh, I'd like to. Because,
Sorry.
I don't care.
Go ahead.
I did.
But the point is that if the people, if we had no knowledge of it, I mean, it was an organization we never heard of, they didn't show up. The one that we approved that didn't show up was the guys from the American Legion. I think we know they're legit.
I don't think that was the one, I think there was a different one, but I can't remember. It was a phone system, I can't remember.
Phone system.
I think it was a phone system I was upset with, because that was more of a, you know,
But I'm talking about.
we don't know about this phone system, right, so I was mad because they didn't, I
I'm
can't
talking,
remember.
I'm talking about the donation.
Oh, the donation.
The donation not showing up. I mean,
I've been against it the whole time, but on this case, minor cedar, everybody knows about it, it was $110, I'm like,
we give it more to lesser cause. We'll clear that up.
but I
It
agree.
was the ad that was in the paper.
Oh,
Well, it's like you said, I just wanna talk, I never talk.
Oh,
That's
you got-
right, good job.
You can track my nose.
The pest control bid.
Okay, the pest control bid.
Why am I not recording that? This is great. Pest control, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, it was published in the newspaper, in the Troy paper, it was put on the website that we were accepting bids for pest control down here because, there were some complaints about the service that we were getting from Arkin and how much we were paying them and they weren't doing anything. So the only bid that we got was from Presto X, which, the gentleman does the spraying at our office. Dan's got his hand up.
Go ahead.
The office has Presto X?
Yes,
Okay.
we didn't. but
Larry, who do
we
you
have-
use?
We do it ourselves.
Larry, Jim, me.
Larry's pest control?
Yeah.
Mix up some stuff, yeah, no, my uncle does that
I
stuff.
don't think that would
Beer
apply with
and
our
all kinds of stuff.
food certification and health
No,
department.
I understand that, but I'm thinking, you know, if we have the one down there, we ought to get a bid for both places, not even, have them bid it for both places.
Okay,
I think we can get a better price if you have two buildings.
down there, we only use them once a year, maybe once every 2 years. If we don't see anything down there, he doesn't come. We just call him. That's what we've done in the past, because we haven't really ever had a bug infestation.
So is this bid lower or higher than Orkin's? What we're
It's
paying?
almost the same. It's like $3 difference.
Oh,
Motion to approve it.
that bid?
Do you wanna know who it is or what it's from, or, I mean, we
Presto
did
X.
look at it.
I know, you know what, it really doesn't matter how much it is, Presto X is the company, it's the same one you use down there, and if you advertise in the newspaper.
We did.
I know, I saw the article in my bills,
Okay.
I'm good with it, but do we advertise for health, for this insurance policy?
No, I
No?
wasn't told to put a bid in there for the insurance. I was told to put a bid in there for that.
That's my whole point exactly. We advertise in the newspaper for bug spray, but for a $80,000 insurance policy, we didn't advertise for bids. That makes my point right there.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Moving on. We
We have to vote on the bug.
we got a motion,
I made the motion.
a motion and a second.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Cox,
Yes.
trustee Foley, trustee Hopkins,
Yes.
trustee Royer,
Yes.
supervisor Allen.
Yes.
Moly, yeah.
What was the bid?
Presto,
Well, how much was the bid? $840 for the annual, the total. They have to come out at least once a month to be, for the certification. And they will set traps up outside, that includes traps outside and inside, as far as any kind of,
I don't see that bad. I pay that for one place. Go ahead.
Now down number E on the audit.
yes.
You can just bring on there.
That's not mine, this is the agenda, this is what Galen, this is,
Yeah. Forensic audit.
Yeah.
I think, Dan, you,
I'd like to, have the board look at having a forensic audit of all of our, township funds, all of our liabilities.
I agree.
I have, requested multiple times different information. It's delayed.
How much does it cost, you know?
The initial audit, I believe, I only spoke with one, I wanted to get board approval to speak to them. The initial, they look at all the finances, all the bills being paid out. They also audit, things like vacation, use of vehicles.
Yeah, forensic audit.
Everything, they look at everything. And, I want to, I think it's gonna, the initial, to look at it, if everything's in electronic form, it's $10,000 to $12,000 just to look at everything.
Well, again, this is something I definitely wanna do. I just want to get bids on it and get where it's
I just want permission to get bids.
non-political
and I will
too,
bring
where
them back to
it's
the board.
independent.
And I will bring 3 bids back to this board for this service.
Well, I'll bring one.
If you approve it.
I'll bring one. Can I bring one too?
Well, it may be the same company.
Right, exactly. No, I'm for it, absolutely.
I guess what's the difference between?
The forensic and a regular audit?
They just look at numbers and balance them, make sure everything balances.
Is a regular audit.
The way I was described is they
yes,
even
we
look
did.
at
$11,100.
each,
Line,
each check that goes out, make sure that it all coincides.
what accounts they go into,
Right.
and if everything's electronic, it goes into their computer, they feed a lot of it in their computer, you know. But there again, I just wanna get permission to get prices, not permission to hire somebody,
Yeah.
but I thought we need board approval, so I'll make the motion that we,
Can I
bring
ask
back
why you want to do this?
because we are the auditors of the township, and we have to make sure that everything balances.
Okay.
No, just like he brought up earlier tonight, that overage in the accounts,
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
understand that.
there's, on our audit, there's no explanation. I wanna know why it's not there. Why wasn't that money flushed?
Yeah, I don't
You know,
understand that at all.
why wasn't it moved to another account or put into an investment? If we got, $68,000 or $58,000 sitting there that wasn't invested and was
Oh, the
uninsured,
56, right.
okay? If it's just in a regular account, it's only $100,000, we might have lost out on some money being invested. They also look at how we're investing our money. And after they're done, they give us all their findings and where we can improve, where, for instance,
It doesn't, the key is,
there's a
if
lot of-
everything
there's a
is
lot of
great,
things that
that's good.
it's
Then
gonna-
now we
it's-
feel
it's
comfortable.
gonna be just a recommendation of where we can tighten up our policies
Right.
and procedures for money and for our employees. Bottom line.
I agree. I am 100% agree. I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything wrong. I know you're not, but.
The only thing we look at, we just spent $11,000, but in this other.
Well, this is money well spent when we're talking millions again.
Right.
Um,
This could save us 10 times on operating procedures. Because they give us recommendations on, they'll say, you don't do this, you know what, we can't track this. This is how you can improve it. And this is CPA firm. I spoke to 2.
So you made a motion, I seconded it, that you can go out and get bids, and
I'll get 2 if you get 1.
okay, and I asked that, see if we can bring those folks in as well. Maybe they can explain what they do.
Well,
Would that be helpful? I mean, that would be helpful for
before
me.
we hire them, we will.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying is before we hire, before we
We're
hire.
not spending any money tonight.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I wanted permission to do this because I wasn't gonna go spend my time to do it if we were gonna throw it to the curb. So,
Yeah, I don't think we need to vote on that. We all agree? I mean, do we have to vote on, you giving you permission to get bids?
I don't think we do.
Right.
That's
so-
cost us nothing, we don't have to.
You
vote.
get two, I get one, for sure.
That's awesome.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, you want to tell me?
In one breath, we're trying to point blame on somebody for not getting bids. Now all of a sudden I hear board members are getting bids. Why not put it out for bid in the paper? I mean, if it's
Well, we can do that too. I'm fine with that.
It seems like maybe.
I'll answer your question, it's a professional service, technically we have to have one bid, but I'm gonna live by my sword.
Technically, with pest control, you can have one bid.
Possibly, yeah,
Insurance.
we could, but we shouldn't.
I mean, let's.
You know what?
I'm just saying, I'm sitting here as an outsider, watching some real finger pointing going on,
Oh, it's not,
and-
it's
and-
all offices are gonna be audited, I mean.
well, that's fine, that's
Don't point any
whatever,
fingers.
that's what you wanna spend taxpayers' money on, that's fine. My point is that in one breath, it's all of a sudden somebody's job to go out and get all these bids. In the next breath, you guys are here talking about, I'll get this bid, I'll get this bid. Well, put it in the paper, let people come in and,
Well,
who's to say you're not getting somebody who's your friend? Maybe this is more of a, let's give my friend $10,000 to do a forensic audit. I'm just,
Not at all.
well, so you say.
I will, I'll say this, that, it's a professional service, we don't have to get any bids, but I wanna make sure we're getting the most value for what we're gonna be doing. And, my desire and hope is that when they do it, they say, we have very few problems. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'd like to say something, because I'm always open when, I'm wrong or whatever. You make a great point. You make a great point. I think it's best that we stay out of it, put it in the paper, all right, and then get as many as we can. I think that makes the most sense, because I want to know that it's not your person, and I don't want anybody to think it's my person. So that's the best way. And he makes.
However, I want the bids to be sealed, I don't want them to be open at this meeting. I don't want them to be open at the office, they need to be open at this meeting.
Oh, it's me, yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
So, yeah, let's get that in the paper, or however we put that out, and get some bids.
In fact, I'll probably be able to get you some language to put it out for bid, so.
Whatever, yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, have it go through the office.
My person that I met, that I talked to, that's not my friend, I'll have them give me some language how to put it out for bid. So, I don't care who does it. It needs to be done.
Okay.
Very good. Moving on.
About halfway done.
Oh, we got a ways.
This one here. So the open positions, we have positions open at,
That personnel, that should go into, as the union contract, that should go in closed session.
probably right.
No, I'm right.
Well, the way I always understood it, and our attorney can help, that, yeah, we're talking about that, but you have to go in closed session when it's one specific employee, and when it's a
Personnel matter.
personnel matter, discipline.
We're talking about general hiring practices, you're not
Yeah.
talking about a specific person, you can do it in open session.
Right, that's
I'd
right.
like to make a motion that we advertise for applications for the two full-time positions in the office.
I second that.
Okay, can I tell you, there's already been it's been put on the website,
It's
and
already been what on their website?
an ad was put on the website,
By who?
and so to put it on the website, so we had a lady come in that just worked. She didn't get hired as an employee, she just come in and helped volunteer and work.
Okay.
What did we pay her?
Not yet, I haven't paid her anything. She come in and volunteer.
Let me
pretty
repeat
much.
my motion. I'd like to make a motion, we advertise for applications for the two open positions. He seconded it.
And this is in
And then
the,
we can talk about it
general
now.
town office.
Right. I think we clarified that with the senior director that we're going to advertise for it. We'll screen it.
Yep.
okay.
what kind of deadline do we like to put on it?
Pretty close.
So, if we wanna put it on Indeed, we can put it maybe on the internet, if we wanna put it on, where you're gonna, when you're on the website now, how many applications have you received?
4.
4? Okay.
We did the senior director, I know this
30
probably
days.
can be a little bit faster, but
30 days.
yeah, 30 days would be good.
Mike wants to speak.
Cindy had her on.
Yeah, Cindy.
Okay, I'm gonna have a knee replacement. So, are we gonna hire anybody to work down here? 'Cause there's
One of
nobody to cover in the kitchen at all. Nobody.
Aline, at our office,
Yeah.
was her backup.
Elaine was my backup, and
Okay.
she's down home.
Well, when's your knee replacement?
It'd be in March.
Okay, okay.
We'll have-
Still,
We hope to have somebody hired
But
in the
you're
first
going
of
to
the
be
year.
off before that.
yeah, but I have to be out before that for personal matters.
That's fine.
But, when I did my last big dinner, Brandon's mother come and helped me. Beautiful lady, she knew the job, she's certified and everything. I'd take her in a heartbeat, but I understand she's
Well,
family.
if we come into the position where we need to hire somebody temporarily, I think we can do that.
Yep.
But I think if we're gonna hire
Okay.
somebody full-time,
So you need to get somebody temporarily
We
in
ju-
here,
we-
because now we got a dance coming Thursday, Country Western. Do you wanna help me dance?
Thursday,
Country Western.
Dan said it's
And that's the big
I,
one.
That's
I have a meeting.
85 people, there's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I have
but-
a meeting at 11 o'clock, I don't know if I can do it, so, let me see. See if I can move my meeting.
I'll be down here.
Okay, but yeah, it's like Terry comes and helps me all the time with all the dinners. But there's gonna come a time when we're gonna have to have somebody else in here.
Well, we just made a motion to advertise for positions, so we're taking applications. This is the 27th. I think if we wanna do 3 weeks for this advertising, or you think that 2 weeks is enough, or what do you think?
Well, the thing is, our next meeting is the 12th, the 7th.
Okay.
Then we're not gonna.
Then we're not gonna, right,
But we may have to do a special meeting to interview, is what I'm saying.
that's gonna be right around Christmas.
Is there any way you guys can move it up? Because starting Monday, we're starting LIHEAP with families. So we're gonna, Gabby and I will be totally booked with helping them all day long. Plus, we have Christmas baskets, the toys,
Okay.
and all the stuff for the kids.
So if we did it 2
two of us
weeks,
can't do it.
we could get the applications by our
We
next
got
meeting.
4, we just never advertised it pretty heavy, so.
Right, if we could get, and then in 2 weeks, we get the applications.
And then we may
If
get
we have a special meeting to interview, is that what we're doing?
Maybe we can, we can have an executive session.
There's no way, unless you guys wanna volunteer to come up and help.
Well, I mean, we're not gonna hire somebody tonight. I mean, what do you want us to do?
No, I understand that.
It's-
but-
But you're still working right now, up
Yeah.
until the new year.
Well, I'll still work after the new year, but I've got to take some time off.
Yeah, no, we're not saying that, but I think the goal would be around the new year, January 15th, to have the office filled. I mean, I don't know,
Oh, my.
do you want to?
I think it might be sooner than that.
Well, then we'll call a special meeting, that's
We'll have
fine.
to call, you know what, I say we review the next,
Where'd that?
the next meeting on the 11th,
Crap,
we'll take the
that works.
applications that we receive, and we'll go into executive session and review them.
That's
'Cause
fine with that,
We're
that's
talking
good.
about individuals.
That's great, I
And
love it,
then-
same night.
Then we can call people for interviews, and that week,
Right.
we can interview people that week.
Yep.
I think we're okay.
Okay, so by the next
is the
meeting
ad?
is the deadline.
So by December 12th, they have to have their
Yes,
applications in
application,
by
and we'll
December 12th?
review them, then we'll figure out who we're
Right, give
going to
'em time.
interview. And then maybe that next week,
Well,
have a
yeah,
special
we
meeting.
might have interviews, but the week before Christmas, and
Right.
if they're not working, they can start. If they need to give 2 weeks, they can. And if you need help, you've got my number. I mean, I
Just
can.
said you have a meeting, and they just
Well,
asked.
I said I'm gonna try and move it for Thursday. I can move it, okay? But I'm not gonna call the guy right now at 20 to 10. But I'm supposed to be in a meeting
When is the meeting
in Clayton.
December, 12th, I think is the first.
11th.
11th, it's 11th, it is, and that's it.
So you need they need to turn them in by the 11th.
Right.
Yeah.
If anybody knows anybody that's interested in being a office staff for the township, put your application in.
Yep.
What's the pay?
Phil, you you don't do much, you interested?
I'll tell my wife, I said.
That's what I say.
We have a no Facebook
I
policy,
need
so
to
you
get her
can
out of
do
the
it.
house.
Okay, good message.
I don't know.
Don't say I didn't offer.
Bylaws concerning public.
We already moved that up,
Okay.
so we're done with that.
What is Champagne? Assessors comments, road commissioners.
Highway.
Yeah, where was I at?
Go to assessors comments.
Yeah, assessors comments, nobody's here. Larry, you got anything? Road and Bridge doesn't have anything, and we gotta move up to do that. Which one was
You
gonna
guys have
move
to
up?
plow snow the other day or not?
We gotta move up to the one.
Stay down. Music we done that. Oh, the whole shot.
Right.
I'd say.
Are you guys going into closed
We
session?
still got one more thing.
Yeah, we got the agenda.
Still got the parade, right?
Oh.
We're gonna talk about what we're gonna do Saturday?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We don't have much time.
So we're gonna figure out how to record that.
Well, Jack, I can give you the recorder if you guys wanna do it, give it to Galen.
You have the recorder?
Yes, I have it in the
I got it.
That's great.
crate, I can give it to you.
Supposed to be in our possession only.
Yeah.
I gotta check with my boy. I might have one trailer
You don't feel comfortable taking it.
that's pretty long.
What's that?
I said, if you don't feel comfortable, instead of making anything, just take it,
Take what? What are we talking about?
the recorder.
No, that's
Don't
not, that's not my point.
It's in this crate
Okay.
that she had everything packed in,
That's
that's
fine.
where it is, in an envelope.
Don't you fill in anyway? Deputy?
Yeah, but I'm not filling in for closed session meeting.
Who's that?
Okay, what are we doing, guys? Hey, Terry, what's the board doing right now? Well, no,
We're talking about the parade of the
Parade's at 5:30, line up to 4.
yeah. And if, are we gonna,
When's Galen gonna be back?
I don't know,
We
she
didn't know
just
she
called in
wasn't
sick
gonna be
this
here
time.
tonight.
Today, she just called in today. Yeah. She'll probably pop out fast.
I'd like to make a motion, we table the union contract till next meeting.
Yeah, that'll work.
So there's no hold on, there's nothing new on the union contract, Jack, or there's,
Because you know we're on closed session now.
Yeah, there is something.
then I motion that we figure that out. Why, we didn't come till 10 o'clock then to quit on one of the most important things. I vote that we go into closed session. Is that where we're at? I've lost where
We
we're at.
still need to figure out the parade.
I second the motion.
Yeah, let's finish, okay,
Let's
good.
do the parade.
You're good.
On the parade, if I get enough together, I might have a trailer, get some off this Saturday.
So we gotta decorate it.
Yeah, so that's what we gotta find out how.
Thank you, guys.
Do we wanna meet, do we wanna plan a time Saturday to meet all of us? Maybe some lights, maybe even bring some stuff from home and try to get something together, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like throw an inflatable. Maybe we put a Santa hat on the rat. No, I'm kidding.
And maybe I can get the one trailer up here and put it in the lot
Sorry
and
about that.
start working on it or
I
something.
just kicked it.
15-foot tall.
Hey, win for size.
Do you think we got time for a trailer?
Yeah, if we
Put some Christmas
if we
lights
meet
on
up
it.
and do it and
Anybody got any
everybody
blow-
joins in.
And blow up things.
I don't want it. I had nothing to do with it other than carrying it in, and he carried the crate, I didn't, so.
I got a bunch of them, but you gotta run them by electric.
Oh,
Then again, if nobody wants to do it, then let's not do it.
What's that? You got something?
I told him, I said, I got a bunch of those blow-up things, and that requires
We got a small generator.
electric or a generator.
I got a generator.
Yeah, we got a generator. I got one, he's got one.
Everybody's gonna
Yours
go.
is probably smaller than mine, but it's not work.
I got one a little higher.
Yeah, that's perfect.